You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. How's it going, little lady?
Oh, it's going good. How are you?
Good. Why do you guys always need the cans?
Cans? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
headphones.
Oh, the headphones. It's just so I can hear the audio and then there's no like echo.
You
Plus
know,
they're pink, J-Dog. I mean, come on.
they are, but I mean the thing is, because I even ripped on it when I was using Craig's podcast, my brother, the early stuff before I was doing my channel. He would use them on his. I'm like, well, why do we have to wear these stupid headphones, dude? It's like my head's all sweaty. He's like, so that way we can hear each other talking. I was like, dude, I could literally reach and and grab your face. Like I was like, I can hear you. Like, why do I need? He's like, where are all hopes with the? I was like, I don't get it. Like, but all these podcasts and stuff, they wear them. I'm just like,
Oh
I
yeah.
yeah, I just hit record and run.
And you just run with it. Yeah. No, I don't know. The audio is better, especially because like for my Twitch streams, that's how I like listen to the music. So it allows for me to just hear it better. I don't hear myself through them,
I
but
guess. Yeah, well, I guess
yeah.
I probably should take notes because I'm known for being the bad audio guy, especially on my interviews.
Oh yeah.
But
You just
I
got to
get
get
screwed.
one of those.
I get screwed on those things. That's why. I like. Did you see any of my? I don't know if they're all up yet. I know I have them all uploaded, but the MDF ones, like, basically, like, I've come to the conclusion the past 2 years, if it's outside for whatever reason, it's hit or miss. I'm not even exaggerating. This is like the fifth pair of microphones that I
Oh
bought,
God.
and I use them.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you're buying. I was like, dude, my one pair. I'm like, give me the most expensive thing you have. I was like, that way I know it's good. So it's not even like I'm pulling the
Yeah.
cheapo thing. And they still have
Yeah.
like they just pick stuff up and they're like, well, you have to do the settings. I'm like, dude, these things literally have one button on them. It turns a light blue or it turns a red. So where there's audio, no audio, it's like there is no settings. Like,
Yeah.
so I
Are
don't.
they the little like TikTok kind of microphones that
They're
you
the
get on
ones
like
we.
Amazon
Yeah, I
and you
mean,
like clip and
I just tell my wife, get me something good, and she buys them, and I pay the bill. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything online ordering stuff when we need anything, I just give her the card and she orders it. She's kind of like
Yeah.
well, for me doing business, she's kind of like my secretary.
Oh yes. Women are
Yeah.
good at that, you
Yeah,
know?
because she works
We're
for
we're
help. She
good.
works for us for Hell. She's been here working for us for about 10 years now. Started working for us, yeah, a few years in our relationship, and but so a lot of the stuff it's just kind of like my secretary work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good.
Because it just helps me get more done. I can
Yeah.
spend more time doing otherwise I don't have to do the back end stuff. Like actually right
Yeah.
now I have her booking Denali God's their hotel rooms because that's my headlining band for my fest and their visas are approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, their visas are approved and I bought their plane tickets 2 days ago. So I have her booking their rooms. Like,
That's so cool. How did your fest go last year? Because we weren't able to go.
yeah, no, you guys bailed last minute. Although I understand.
No, the fucking movers, bro. The fucking movers. I lost three guitars and my PS5 and my Xbox Series X. And oh my God, you would have actually cried at the state of our vinyl boxes, like when they came. And because the movers literally came the day of your fest. And we had been waiting 3 weeks for like the movers to come. And we were living out of like suitcases and oh yeah, those vinyl boxes were all over the floor and it was a sad state of affairs.
No, I'm
But
sure.
that was yeah, it
Oh,
was
you got a text. I
terrible.
can't remember. I think it was the day of or the day before you text. See, I don't know who it was though. I don't know if it's who I'm talking to. I can't tell if it's you or if it's your husband because I know he orders from us.
Yeah, yeah, that's his username is Magpie, so I'll just call him Magpie. But yeah, Cassidy Magpie, yeah, it was
Oh, so
him.
does he comment on my channel? Because I don't know if some of these people they're like, I comment on your channel. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't see it? I'm like, well, what is it? And they'll tell me. I'm like, well, dude, I know your name is James. I don't know your silly. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. Like, so they like, how do you mean you didn't know? I'm like, why, how the hell would I?
Yeah.
But so does he comment on the channel?
He does. He actually watches your videos all the time. So he was especially before the move, he was watching pretty much like every single one of them. He was like a religious watcher. So
Is that how you found out about me?
um no. I found out about you from one of my he's like a Serbian viewer of mine, but he's been in my Discord for a really, really long time. And it was when You made that video about me being like in the Morbid Angel video or whatever, and that T-shirt. He was like, "Look at this dude. He's like talking about you." That's how I found out about you
Oh, okay, okay.
from like years ago. Yeah,
Well, so then were you with I mean, I don't know if are you guys married? I don't know if you guys are married or not.
we're engaged
Oh,
to
okay,
be
okay, okay.
married. Yeah,
I knew it was something like that. Were you guys together at
yeah.
that point?
Mm, no, we met through my channel, so we met through Discord. So
So then he found out about me from you then. Like, did you just say watch this guy, or did he know who I was
I
on
think
his
he
end?
already knew who you were. And then, yeah, he knew who you were, I think, already because I found out about him through my view, one of my subscribers. So, and then I guess I don't know how it happened, but he just like started watching your content.
Okay.
And then there it was. So,
Okay. So it's
yeah.
kind of similar timing. Because I figured that you found out about me through him. Because I know he puts order. I knew he watched because he puts orders that sometimes he says in the comments.
Yeah.
Now he
Yeah.
didn't do that until I think I called it out once because I didn't realize who it was. And I'm like, oh, like the guys in the Burial, they do that. They do now. And actually, Ian from Burial texted me the other day. He's like, yeah, no, my last name's this or whatever. I'm like, well, dude, you don't leave any comments. Like, I don't. I was like, dude, I see so many names. I was like, I don't know. I was like, unless I've known you for 20 years or something, I kind of
Yeah.
don't know. Like all names blur together, you know.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
even at Maryland Death Fest, I'm not even exaggerating. I had to have taken at least 200 photos, and then people are like, "Hey, we met at this show. You remember?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Like it's almost overwhelming. I was like, "It's cool and I get it." I was like, "But unless I have a lot of
Yeah.
experience, like, I'm just not going to remember." So it all
Yeah.
just blurs together. Plus, seeing all the
Yeah.
emails and order names, I was like, now with the chat, it just all is one. This is all one fog.
It's just a lot of people. Yeah. No, that's how it is for me. It's like I have a core group of subscribers that have been following me for like 3 years at least. And it's like those are my core audience members. I have so many people that come and go, and it's just like you just have to accept it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I did get recognized one time though. So embarrassing. It was when I was living in Asheville and I was busking. Because you can make some damn good money busking in the summertime. Those
What is busking? I don't even know what that
You don't
is.
know what busking? So, well, I don't know if metalheads can get away with it because I play like southern rock. So it's like I
Yeah.
would set up on the street, with my guitar and everything, and then I would just play covers and original songs for like 2 hours, and then people would just like, pass the streets and like give you money or whatever.
Yeah, I
And
see that
so
in
it's
Vegas
like
sometimes on the strip. There's people in Vegas do. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's really fun. But you do have to have a little bit of street smarts and whatever. But it's like I was doing it to pay my rent. A broke musician, but I was doing it, and some fucking guy. He's not some fucking guy. He was very nice, but he recognized me. It was so embarrassing. He recognized me on the street, and he was like, "Oh my god." My friend showed me your reaction yesterday, and here you are, like on the street. And I was like, "Oh God!"
So you
But
were
he's
already doing the
nice.
channel. You're already doing the channel at that time.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Now, do you still do this?
So
Do you still do this busking gig?
no, not anymore. I mean, I live on a sheep ranch right now, so
Yeah. What is
no.
up? But you live in Cali now, right? That's where you guys
I
moved
live in California now, for
now.
now,
But you're
yes.
so when I because when I think of California, like most people do, I'm thinking L.A. or San Diego. But you live in like the
Yeah.
country part.
I live in Northern California, yeah, about 2 hours away from up north from Sacramento. So I live on my fiance's family's sheep ranch, and the sheep ranch has been in the family since like the 1800s or something like that. And so when we first moved out here, yeah, I was helping out with the livestock, learning about the sheep. I mean, she does like his mom does everything. So she does like wool blankets, dryer balls. They do the meat right now. We were helping them like build their dairy barn. So they do like cheese and the whole thing, which is very cool. They have guardian dogs. Yeah, I mean it's a giant piece of property out
Do they
here.
do
So
they eventually slaughter the sheep or no? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So who the hell eats
So
sheep though? I mean, is that a thing? Sheep burgers or something? Like what the hell?
it is, yeah. We do ground lamb. We do the lamb chops, leg of lamb. And we
Oh, see, I'm a
sell.
fucking idiot. I'm thinking it's just sheep. Yeah, I've had lamb. You know what's funny? I actually, as a kid, like really young kid, I actually liked lamb chops a lot. 'Cause we ate a lot of meat and stuff. My dad was always out hunting and stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
what it was when I hit about 18. the lamb thing just grossed me out. Like I literally want to throw up tasting it, but I loved it as a kid, you know. But
Yeah.
I always liked steak as a kid, so I still like steak and bison, but and I like venison. My dad would always cook us venison, but for whatever reason,
Yeah.
lamb chops were my favorite as a kid. But when I hit 18, even the smell of it, like I want to throw up. I don't know like what just
Yeah.
that trigger just switched.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, like most of the lamb that they're having from stores or whatever are shipped from either Australia or New Zealand. And so it's going to be very gamey. And that was something that I realized because I remember I went to a really nice fancy restaurant in Portland, Oregon when I used to live there. And I went with my mom, and the leg of lamb was like $40, $50. It was disgusting. I couldn't even finish it. But
Mm.
then eating the lamb that we grew here, it's so good. Like the flavor is very mild and the meat is very tender. So and it was like one of the first times I really had lamb. So
Oh, so you didn't
yeah.
have it to your yes, you didn't have it to your adult years. Yeah, no, I
No.
grew up on all crap. My dad would we would eat rabbit and stuff. Like anything, I have a rule since I had adults, especially when I started adopting cats and stuff.
Yeah.
It's I don't believe you should be able to eat an animal that you could have as a pet. So ducks off
Yeah.
limits. Obviously dogs, cats, horses.
Oh, you don't
But a
eat
rabbit too.
dogs?
I don't think. Well, I don't know. There's people in China that do some weird
This is
shit. I hear.
true.
Haven't been there, can't confirm or deny it, but I heard about it. Um, and because I actually I think Afnar from Midnight said that he's like a friend of mine. He's like, well, they eat cats over there in China because his wife's Chinese. He's like, they say they taste good. I'm like Pulp Fiction, dude. Sewer rat might taste like pumpkin pie, motherfucker, but I would never know because I'd never eat the motherfucker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but rabbits off get limits too because you can have a bunny rabbit as a pet. To me, if you can have a pet, it's all fucking limits.
Yeah. Well, then you shouldn't eat meat because you can have a cow as a pet.
Yeah, but I don't look at it like that because they're a big ass thing and they could kill. They're bigger than.
They
It's
are.
got to be big. The only exception is kind of chicken, and that's because I don't know. Because I've
Yeah.
eaten so much goddamn chicken that it's insane. And so you're, and if you could call it totally hypocritical, and that's fine. Call it what it is. Um, I don't mind. Like I just whatever. You know, that's
Yeah.
just the way. But if it's a bigger animal than me, then I'm a little bit okay with it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll pretty much eat most things. Yeah, used to be not a picky eater at all when I was growing up, and I always used to brag, like, oh, yeah, I can eat pretty much anything, you know? And then it's like I became a celiac. I got diagnosed with like celiac, so I have to eat gluten free, and that
Did you
fucking
actually get the blood
sucked.
test though? Because that's a pet
I
peeve of
got the
mine.
f- I got the fucking surgery, bro. I
Oh,
went
okay,
in
that's it.
there
Okay,
like,
because I know so many people that
oh,
say they have celiac. I'm like, motherfucker, no, you don't. I grew up with you. You ate this shit all your life. You didn't just get it overnight.
yeah,
I was like, if you have a blood test and it says you have celiac disease, I was like, okay, that's fine. I get then yes, you do. But a lot of
yeah,
people are like, I can't eat this because it's gluten. I'm like, shut the fuck up and you're a tum tum. You're fine. You ate it all your goddamn life. Because I
yeah.
think it just became a fad because a lot of people are jumping on it. They just hear
It
gluten's bad.
is.
I was like, yeah, if you can't digest it, I was like, but you do realize most people don't have that problem. I was like, yes, some do.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, go get a genetic test, go get a blood test. I was like, then you'll know. Otherwise, the
Yeah.
shit's probably in your head.
Yeah. No, I got both. And it was when I was 17. So it's like I got the blood test and I had the biopsy for them to make sure they didn't even have to take samples. Like I got out of the surgery and the doctor was like, yeah, we just put the camera down there. And it was like, this girl has like no villi because that's what gets destroyed. And I don't know how she's been like absorbing anything. So it's like I got diagnosed at 17. And then I was very stubborn and completely avoided eating gluten free for like 12 years. So I
Oh, really?
just started eating gluten free like a year and a half ago, like strictly doing it. And it was like, even after 3 months of not eating any gluten, I went to like a Mexican food restaurant in Arkansas when I was visiting my grandmother and knew I got gluten and everything. And I was ill like the next 2 days. It was really bad. But yeah, just I can't have bread. And now as I get older, I'm like, I don't really like pineapple. And I don't really like the texture of that. And I'm like all of these things. So, but that's
I'm kind of
fine.
the opposite. See, I was extremely picky eater as a kid, like extremely.
Yeah.
Like the only things I actually don't get me wrong. Like I said, I would eat meat because my dad would make it. But the only things I actually
Hmm.
enjoy, if you ask me as a kid, like what foods do you enjoy, like you look forward to eating, I can tell you exactly what they were. It was pizza, hamburgers, hot dogs, and cereal. That's it. Everything else, I thought I would tolerate some stuff. I refused to eat.
Yeah.
I didn't eat a single vegetable. I refused. Like I'll sit at the dinner table for 3 hours. Now I'm less picky. Um,
Yeah.
Probably because when I was dieting a lot, like during bodybuilding years, like you just became because I ate fish. I ate salmon every single day for 15 years straight as one of my meals.
Wow.
And it's not even because I liked it. It's just because it's one of my protein sources. I was eating 7 meals a day,
Yeah.
and every meal had at least 50 grams of protein. So I would do a chicken
Yeah.
meal, I would do a beef meal, I would do a fish meal, I would do an egg meal, I would do a whey protein meal, and then I would do some type of other dairy, like low fat yogurt or something. It's different protein sources.
Yeah.
So you learn to tolerate shit to where you're just like, yeah, no, I don't really like it, but I can tolerate it. As opposed to when I was a kid, I would like, I'd rather starve for a week than eat shit I didn't like. Like I was just that little stubborn
Yeah.
kid. I was like, if it ain't pizza, burgers, or hot dogs, get the fuck away from me. I don't even eat that shit. You know?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not
Yeah.
that bad
No,
anymore.
yeah. No, it's like little things. I don't even know like I like tomatoes. Like I don't really like tomatoes like raw now, but I can eat it with pretty much anything, you know? But it's
Uh-huh.
like I mean, I grew up in Texas, so it's like I could literally eat cheese enchiladas every fucking day. I could eat rice every day. Like that is like my comfort meal and I literally just grew up on I grew up on that. Wow, you got a really good snort there.
Nice.
But yeah.
My wife would have you beat though, especially if she's drinking. She does it
Oh
bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I have like the women in my family were very loud, but we also laugh very loud. And I inherited my mom's cackle laugh. And I have silenced a room with my cackle laugh. And so it's very embarrassing, but
You also like you're
yeah.
kind of like I can't, especially with all the places you said you lived, and you have a slight accent. You're kind of like a fucking gypsy though. Like you lived in like a bunch of places. Like where,
I've
because I
lived
didn't know Texas.
everywhere.
You were in like some hick ass Louisiana there, right? And then I thought I heard you like where all of you lived, like different states. Like
So I was born in Leominster, Massachusetts, and I lived there for a year, and then I moved with my mother to Austin, Texas, and I lived there for 15 years of my life, and that was great. So like the house we lived in was like 5 minutes from downtown Austin. We were paying like 9.25 for rent. She was paying 9.25 for rent. I was a child,
right.
but like you could walk to like ACL, the Palmer Event Center, if you've ever been to Austin. So it was super, super cool.
How far is
Um,
Austin from how far is Austin from Houston? I've only been to Houston.
I would probably say like 5 hours,
Okay,
six
so it's far. Okay,
hours,
okay,
right
okay.
around there. Yeah. So you could do it in a day for sure.
Yeah.
Um, oh wait, Austin to Houston? Yeah, maybe less, maybe less. I was thinking Stillwater to
But
Houston,
did you
but
like did you like Austin though? Because I've only been to Texas once, other than layover flights. But the only time I went in there is actually during the channel times. I went there once. I saw actually I'm wearing the goddamn shirt. Attic, my headlining band last year. They came into Hell's Heroes for a one-off show. I don't even go, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
they're playing. I was like, I'm fucking flying to that. Just that was the only
yeah,
reason. People were like, oh, Sodom. I'm like, fuck, fucking shitty Sodom. Who gives a fuck about Sodom? I was like, Addicts playing. So I went down there, flew down there, and to watch them and interview them. That's where I met them, and obviously we came. I mean, I don't know if we're friends, but I mean, kind of friends, I guess. And then did my show, but that was the only time I was in Houston. I really liked it. The only thing I noticed, and it wasn't like just me noticed it too. My wife noticed it. I was like, the people out here drive like fucking maniacs. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, and I'm no grandma on the road. Like they were just like very aggressive, like swerving in and out, like almost pushing me off the road. And it happened like 7 times. And I was down there for
yeah,
2 days. I'm like, what are these
yeah.
fucking people doing? These are like nutballs down here. Other than that, I
Oh yeah.
liked it. So did you like Austin? Like, did you like Texas? Because the area, like I said, I like
Yeah.
Houston.
Yeah, Austin is great, or at least it was. Old Austin was really cool. I mean, I was a kid in like the late 2000s was when I was there. And so it's like, I mean, we could walk around downtown in the middle of the night and like do whatever we wanted. They had snow cones. You could walk to go get ice cream. I wasn't into metal at that point, but it's like when I would go, there's just like so much live music. So I don't know what the metal scene is like there in Austin, but
So you never, but
I
you've
know
never been to a metal show in Texas ever. Like you never had to go back for family.
no.
Okay, okay.
Mm-mm, no, but Dying Fetus always skips fucking Oklahoma. They'll do 4 shows in Texas, but they won't come to Oklahoma. So I'm just gonna have to go to Dallas, Houston, or Austin to see
They
them.
probably, they probably, they probably thought I was going to be there, so they skipped it because he didn't want to do my interview.
And I'm like,
Oh, he
you
actually,
would
did you end up
sell
seeing?
out.
Did you end up seeing that? I actually,
Mm-mm.
that you didn't see when I end up interviewing John Gallagher from Dying Fetus. It was at last year's
No,
MDF.
no, I haven't seen it.
Oh, so it's funny. There's two of them up on there though because the first one, the audio's got it's got this scratchy noise. Yeah,
No.
exactly. It takes fucking forever to get them. But then somebody, just a random fan, this is kind of the one I'm sure you've had. You probably get it more than me because you're a girl. And people just want to like do favors. But I get a couple favors here and there, like just some people I don't know. A fan,
Yeah.
he downloaded my audio and he fixed it up with AI. I mean, it's still kind of low, but all the scratchy's gone, right? And he just sent it to me, like didn't
Yeah.
want anything. I'm like, oh sweet. So, but I didn't want to tear down the original video because it was already at like
Yeah.
30,000 views or something. So I reposted
Mm-hmm.
it, just fixed audio. So if you do look it up, because it's a really, really good interview with John Gallagher, the only original Dying
Yeah.
Fetus guy. It's like an hour long, really,
Yeah.
really good. But look for the one that says fixed audio because the first one kind of sounds shitty, but it's the same interview. But it's funny. I told it on the channel, so Cassidy, I'm sure knows. Is I was trying to get John for years, right? And there was just like
Yeah.
no replies, everything. I'm sitting there on Friday night at Maryland Death Fest. Keep in mind, Dying Fetus isn't even playing, but John Gallagher is from Maryland, so I'm not thinking anything. He walks up to me
Yeah.
with his wife at nighttime, dressed like the fucking Unabomber. He's literally got sunglasses on, his hood up, everything. And you could tell he was high or drunk or something like that. And he starts talking to me
Yeah.
like I just thought it was another fan coming up to me. I'm sorry, hey, how's it going, man, or whatever. And he was kind of like very very shy. And then he starts walking away. He's like, "So, man, if you want to shoot a video, we can." And I'm like, the first thing that pops in my mind, who the fuck are you? Why would I want to shoot a video with you? But I mean, I'm trying to be polite and don't want to be a dick. I'm like, like, well, what band are you in? He's like, John, Dying Fetus. I'm like, oh, well, dude, what the fuck? I was like, you should have led with that, homie. I was like, I thought you were just some weirdo coming up to me. And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm pretty fucked up right now. He's like, but I can come back. He's like, we could shoot a video tomorrow. I'm like, fuck. I was like, I've only been trying to get you for like 3 years. I was like, but dude, I was like, you ain't coming back tomorrow. So yeah, I will. I was like, I told him that straight to his face. I'm like, you're not coming back. No, I promise I
Yeah.
will. I was like, no, you're not. And his wife's like, no, I'll make sure he does. I'm like, great. But I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And sure enough, he did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so cool.
So the whole turnout was funny because I was busting his balls for years. And the main reason I was
Yeah.
busting his balls is because in the early 2000s, I saw Dying Fetus several times, and we always hung out. Me and the original lineup and my brothers. I have like multiple pictures with John, and he even gave us
Yeah.
his email back then because he had like a Japanese bonus track edition of Destroy the Opposition, which was the album at the time. And he sent
Yeah.
us those, so we went back and forth. And my very first vinyl LP I ever bought, the first actual vinyl record, was Dying Fetus, Grotesque Impalements. It was at the show,
Yeah.
and it's signed by all them. So we had a mini history. Not that we were best buddies or anything, and not that we're sending back Christmas cards, but it was enough history to where he would certainly remember with that many reminders. And
Yeah.
I was like, why wouldn't you at least tell me to fuck off, dude? Like, why would you like at least reply, like say something?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not a complete stranger, so that's
Yeah.
why I fucked with him forever on the channel. But then he comes up to me on his own, so it actually turned out really, really good. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll have to watch it because I just finished listening to Dying Fetus' entire discography on my Twitch like a few weeks ago, and that was so much fun. But yeah, they're one of the last few bands on my bucket list that I really want to see. Dying Fetus and Deicide for sure, and I would love to see Mortician live.
oh, so you never
So,
seen? Oh shit, that's so all three of those you never seen?
mm-mm. My
Because
my
Deicide,
first death metal show was Cannibal Corpse, and that was also my first metal band. Period.
yeah.
So that yeah, so it's like I got Cannibal Corpse out of the way. I've seen Immolation, Exhumed twice, Incantation. But yeah, I really really want to see those three. Um, they're
Well, I guess
just
going to there, because that's probably what it should do too, is technically me having you on. So how this popped up, you'll see this too. Um, is Mike Sayas from Incantation. He's
Yes.
yeah, he was he sings it's funny because when I was first singing Incantation in the late 90s and early 2000s, he was the current singer. And
Mm.
then there's been tons of lineup changes. But anyways, him and I have talked in the past few years, and he just texts me randoms like, and he sends me a link to you. He's like, "Hey, do you know who this is?" I was like, "Well, I mean, I know who she is." I was like, I don't like know her, like, but I was like, I know a little." But
Yeah.
she's like, "So what's her deal? Like, when did she get in this?" I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, "Well, because like she did a deep dive on Incan." He's like, "And there's a lot of info about me that's incorrect." I'm like, "Oh,"
Oh no.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, she probably just went off what she had. I was like, I could say this. I was like, I know she does. She tries to be as, from my perspective looking out, I get the vibe she tries to be as accurate as possible. I was like, because
Yeah.
I was like, she's hit me up a couple times asking about bands. I was like, so she probably just went on the info she got. She's like, yeah, not a big deal. I was like, I was just kind of like, like, who is it? Like, what's like, when is she? She seems pretty young. I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know her. I was like, I don't know how old she is. I was like, but I know she's definitely younger than me. And I consider myself, well, I guess I'm probably not young anymore. But I was used to being the youngest guy at metal shows. And I was like, you know what, dude? I was like, I'll hit her up for a video. I was like, I mean, I've reached out to her before. I was like, because I was like, you're not the first person that's asked about her in a sense like this. Like, hey, dude,
Yeah.
what is up with, like, do you know who? Because they assume because I do a channel and you do. I don't know if they do the same for you. And because you do a channel, like we know everybody in the metal game that's doing a YouTube channel.
It's a small community of like metal YouTubers, and we all share like the same audience in the same space. So I've had a lot of people be like, you should go and do an interview with J-Dog and blah blah blah. And we share a lot of the same viewers. So I mean, I know for a fact, like I have a viewer who watches like every single one of your videos, and he's in every single one of my streams and
Yeah.
everything. So
Well,
yeah.
would you agree? Like, maybe you're more up to snuff than I am because I was kind of out of the. I don't know about the YouTube like guys too much. Like, because before my channel, I never watched a single metal video ever on YouTube ever,
Yeah.
so I was out of the
Yeah.
loop. But people asked me questions about some. I was like, other than like you, Francisco over at Jamming Out All Badass, I've been on kind of Mordant Red and like El Necron. I was like, people that I collabed with here and there. I was like, I don't really know. They just
Yeah.
assume that we know each other, that we are on speed dial and we're talking and like swap and talk. I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
these motherfuckers. Like one guy sent me in a question. I think it was a paid question too. He's like, "Hey, what happened?" I don't remember. I didn't even know the motherfucker's name. And he just says it like it's public knowledge, like I would know from Wild Rags. Wild Rags was a label from the early '90s.
Yeah.
Like I heard he's dead or in Mexico. I'm like, dude, that's before my time. I was like 6. Like, why would I? Why would you? I don't even know who that is. Like, but
Yeah.
he's like, if anybody would know, would be you. I'm like, why would I fucking know?
Why me?
Yeah,
Why would I know that?
but I think because again, and I'm sure you probably get it too, or at least they're thinking it. They just think because we're doing the same thing that we just all
Yeah.
know each other. That we're just sitting around a campfire singing "Kumbaya."
I mean, I know names of people. And I used to watch a lot of people's content like a few years ago. But it got to a point, honestly, where like I had to stop watching other content that was like metal related because it was affecting my own experience, I guess, with metal, but also like how I felt about my channel, like creating content, you know? So I was like, I just
Well, let's
stopped
do this
watching
then,
it.
because I wanted to get into all that, and I tend to fucking not to shut the fuck up. But part of that's a good thing because some guys, I mean, you can actually hold a conversation. I can already tell that, as opposed to some cannot. Where I'm like, people are like, oh, you talk too much, J Dog. I'm like, well, this guy's a fucking 2x4 and I can't get 2 words out of him. So I'm used to a lot of
Yeah.
that. So I was like, I got to do the talking to keep the conversation going. So let's start with this for guys like, so this is for you, Mikey. I'll text him, see when this goes up. Um, when did you get into metal? I did tell him that. So I stood up for you because yeah, I was like, well, dude, I was like, I know she's newer to this, especially because he's older than me. I was like, she's newer to the scene. I was like, but what I expect about her, I was like, she doesn't pretend to be like, hey, I've been into this since 1992. Push, I know a motherfucker, no names mentioned. He claims he's been going to shows since 92, and he's like my
Oh
age. I was
God.
like, so when you're 7, bro? I was like, no, you weren't.
Yeah.
So there's like these cool
Yeah.
point being is I know people that claim these. I was like, she's not doing that. Or hey, I've been listening to this band for 25 years. It's like, no, you found about them last year from me on my channel, dude. I was like, and
Yeah.
I know there's guys I've caught. I was like, and I know that's I know it for a fact. Like they literally just
Yeah.
found out about them. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I was like, don't pretend you
Yeah.
never. Don't pretend like you knew about them since I've had their demo, bro. I was like, she don't pull that. I was like, so I respect that. I was like, and she's, from what I understand, I think I've heard her say, or somebody's told me, is that she's just recording her journey in the metal scene. So like, start
Yeah.
with that. Like, when did you get in this? How did you get into it? And let's go from there then.
Yeah. So basically I got into metal extremely late at like, 25
And how
maybe.
how do you, how do you not?
So
You can't be a day older than 30.
I'll be 30 in a month.
Okay. So I'm pretty damn good then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually 21. So just
Yeah.
delete that from your brain. I'll be
So is my so is
21 in a month.
so is my wife. Says the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
longest
Yeah.
21 ever.
So I definitely got into metal very late, and I know I don't look like a typical metalhead or whatever because I didn't grow up as a metalhead. It's like I didn't have an older brother, or really like best friends or anybody. Like I wasn't in that scene at all. It's like when I was growing up, I did southern rock, country. I went through my little Kanye hip hop phase, like everything. So it's like I got into metal in Asheville. I was in 3 different bands at the time. A lot of people don't know that I have been a musician since I was like 15. So I was like performing, I was doing solo stuff. I dropped out of high school to do my band. I had a band at 17,
Oh,
like
so
the whole thing. So
you didn't graduate high school then?
I know I
Oh,
dropped out for music.
oh, I didn't know this. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, which is why it was cool to do the death deep dive, and find that out about like Chuck Schuldiner
Okay,
too,
yeah.
because I was like, oh yeah, so he's just as passionate as I was, or I guess I was just as passionate as he was about music. And so
Yeah.
it's like, I have a lot of experience doing that like local music grind, and so it's like when I got into metal, I was in 3 different bands, and the one band that I was in, we were doing this it was like a D&D concept album that we were making, and I got to do these like wailing like vocals. Like that was probably the most metal project that I had ever been on. And all of the guys that were in my band were metalheads. And I remember Man of War and I think like Portal or somebody was coming into town. I didn't know who these people were at the time. And my
Mhm.
drummer who was into metalcore and my bass player who was into a bunch of funky shit, they were like, "Oh, we're going to go to this or whatever." And my bass player Casey was like, "You know what you should do for your YouTube channel?" Because I was like, I had started it, but I was just kind of like doing videos to see what was gonna stick. And he
What
was
were you
like,
doing at that? What videos were you doing at that time then? Was it music related?
nothing worth of value, just like reactions. And then
What was the reaction to music?
um
Like, was it still music based? Like, even though it wasn't metal?
no.
Okay.
No, I didn't. I honestly, it was just like I had this idea for what I wanted my channel to visually be, and then because I knew I wanted to create content, and so it's like I was just creating videos, like reacting to like scary TikToks or like doing whatever. I knew I wanted to do something with music, but I didn't exactly know because I had originally tried to do it before, but it just wasn't feeling right. And then my bass player was like, "You know what you should do? You should do a reaction to Cannibal Corpse and see how it is." Because somebody that looks like you, literally, is what he said. He was like, "Somebody that looks like you, it would be hilarious to see what that looks like." And then it's like, so I did the reaction, and I did like I Come Blood, and just like a bunch of different, Hammer Smash Face. And I ended up really, really enjoying it. Yes, the video took off, but it's like I ended up really enjoying the music itself. And it was something completely out of my wheelhouse because it's like, I had produced an album, an EP, like been in the studio. So I used like all of my personal experience being a musician to like hear what they were doing in those albums. And that gets my juices flowing, like talking about music, like hearing the different production things that they're doing.
But when
That
you
stuff
first
just,
heard it, like,
it's
again,
cool.
I've said this on my channel, and the number one thing I hear from people that never heard death metal, because you said that it's funny, the first metal band that introduced you was Cannibal Corpse. That wasn't my first metal band, but that was my first death metal band. And hell,
Yeah.
it was even with us. My brother Chase, who I own the company with, call him Sea Dog on the channel because he hates it. I was like, yeah, well, I hate J-Dog too, but I still get the goddamn title. And
Yeah.
Eric hates Easy E, so I keep calling it that. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't like mine either. It's like nobody names themselves. So, but I
Yeah.
remember I was 12 years old, and Eric Easy E, he bought Cannibal's Vile album because that was the newest album at the time.
Yeah.
This would have been 97. Yeah, 97. And they were listening to it, and Sea Dog calls me in the room. He's like, dude, you got to hear this. He's like, you can't even understand what the guy's saying. So, and I've said this on my channel, people that haven't heard death metal, let's just say not metal, Iron Maidens and Slayers, the biggest thing, even if they kind of like it, that turns them off, they're like, I don't really like the vocals. Like, I can't understand what he's saying. So, but
Yeah.
like, what did you think? Because you weren't even exposed to traditional metal like Slayer and stuff like that. You just
Yeah.
hear that. What did you think of the vocals? Did you like it, or were you like, well,
Um,
what the hell is this? Is he actually saying words? Like,
I Yeah, no, I liked it, but obviously as like a new listener, it was overwhelming and it was because it's a lot of like blast beats, it's very
yeah,
aggressive and so it was like overwhelming. And then I also just remember it being a little goofy and but like I could also hear what he was saying, but then the screams I was like, "Oh man, like so many of the screams and the growls, like how does he do that?" Like I was fascinated about the how because being a singer myself, I was like, "How do they achieve that?" And yeah, so that was what was really it was goofy, it was interesting. And then it was like um I did not go up in my journey in terms of like, bigger bands. So it was like I went to Cannibal Corpse and then my next reaction was Imperial Triumphant, which is like this,
that was your
I don't
second
know.
one.
That was my second band.
That's like a huge swing just in both years and everything.
Yeah. So it was well because it was my bass player again. He was like, "Yeah, it's this avant-garde black metal band that's got, trumpet." And I was like, "Well, that sounds totally up my alley." So it's like I did that and that was definitely an interesting experience. And then I kind of went up. I mean, I did like Bloodywood, which was like whatever, and then I did Slipknot, which was interesting. And then it's like I just as I continued to listen to metal, it's like I just went down. Like I never went back up. Now I'm finally going back up and
You're
I'm
talking about as
listening
far as
to like
popular. You're talking about as far as popularity.
I haven't listened to so this is how my journey has gone so far. It's like I listened to Last Days of Humanity's debut before I ever listened to Reek of Putrefaction. And I've listened to like all of Carcass, all of Cannibal Corpse
Yo,
um before I ever listened to like all of Iron Maiden or whatever. So,
yeah, it was kind of similar for us. But I heard like well, the first metal band I heard was Sacred Reich, which is definitely a weird one because they're not like a small band, but they're definitely not big at
mhm.
all. Most people hear Metallica first or Slayer, but I heard a few of those
Yeah.
first Slayers. But Cannibal was very early on. But even before Cannibal, someone picked it up. I can't remember if it was Eric or Chase. They picked up like a Pantera album, a White Zombie, and this was before I was too young to even buy anything, so I would just hear their stuff. And but as soon as I heard Cannibal, I'm like, fuck this Pantera, this white like fuck like I just always wanted to hear heavier and heavier shit. And then I
Yeah.
didn't as far as the
Yeah.
kind of like you're saying to go up until I hit 18, so you're talking another 5 years or so. I didn't start looking into bands like Motorhead, Ozzy. I knew who they were and I heard it, but I didn't like
Yeah.
actually when I say look into it, like actually buy something by them. Like I didn't own anything by Black Sabbath or Ozzy until 18, 19, 20. And then I first started buying stuff by the Misfits, first non-metal band, when I was 20, because it was a girl I was dating. And she exposed me to them. And it's funny because the Misfits is like I can even argue they're my favorite band. Well,
Yeah.
definitely a top five, and they're not even a metal band. But
Yeah.
definitely, as far as non-metal, they're definitely my favorite band. But it's funny as far
Yeah.
as stuff that I actually physically listen to. I probably listen to the Misfits more than I do any other anything. Period.
Yeah.
But that was later.
Yeah.
I was 20. I was 20 or 21, 2021 in that area, and that was much later. But the early years, as soon as I heard Cannibal, I just wanted to hear like extreme metal. So then it was DSL,
Yeah.
Morbid Angel, and Suffocation, and Mortician, and Immolation, and just Spiral, Gorefest, Sinister, and then
Yeah.
eventually at 5 years, okay, you almost kind of want to listen to other stuff, like because it becomes a
Yeah.
little bit ear fatigue, you know,
Mhm.
you can only
Well,
listen to
it's
so many
like
blast beats in a row.
because I started with probably the most mainstream and commercially successful death metal band. It's like I basically was born into death metal. So it's like that is pretty much all I kind of like the pocket I stayed in, I guess. And so it's like I do talk about a lot about death metal and listen to a lot of that. And it took a while for me to kind of figure out what I liked, what sound I liked. And I came to find out that I really like doomy reverberated vocals, like just absolute, like the heaviest shit you could find, which is why I was really excited to do Incantation, why I did Mortician. Yeah, those are like Mortician, especially like those first two albums, Immortal Massacre, little
Mm-hmm.
7-inch, like that shit is drop the panties. Like it's so, so good. But it took me a while to realize what my tastes were and to like describe what I was hearing. So yeah. Now I'm kind of working my way back up. Like I'm doing a Black Sabbath deep dive next. So I've listened to like all the Black Sabbath stuff now, and
These deep dives, you've
I'm
done a bunch of them at this point, and that's like, see,
yeah.
you're actually like working me. My shit's half ass. I just hit record, I hit stop, and I hell, Sea Dog says it on one of our interviews. Like he's on it. There's like a 4-part. I don't know if you ever watched that. If you really want to kind of like learn about us,
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead and Afnar, Jamie, whatever you want to call him, for midnight. We're in Jamie's house. This is a couple years ago, and it's all 5 of us. Don, and Jamie interview the 3 of us, the 3 owners, right? And
Yes.
I think there's
Yeah.
4 parts. Just look them up on the channel, Hell's Headbangers owners or whatever. And Chase even says it on that. He's like, just make this. That's just what we do. He's like, yeah, but dude, this guy's so fucking half-assed. He's like these videos right now recorded. He's just gonna sloppily throw it on his fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
And people, I think, would think that I'd get offended. I'm like, no, he's right. I was like, I tell everybody, I was like, there's not one goddamn 12-year-old on this planet that can't do what I'm doing. That's why when people are like, oh, he's doing, I'm thanks, but not really, bro. But
Yeah.
you're actually what you're doing involves work. These deep dives is is it becoming kind of like burnout at this point, or does it feel like too much work? And you're just like, well, I'm doing it for whatever reason you're doing YouTube, branding, or a bigger vision. But you're like, fuck, I don't really feel like doing this.
No, so I actually am very much in the beginning of like this new phase for my channel because I knew I had been wanting to just focus on deep dives for a really long time, even prior to my move, because I was burnt out on fucking YouTube. Like I was doing all these different types of videos that just, in my opinion, were not making sense for my YouTube channel. And it's like I knew I wanted to, like I was and still am genuinely interested in metal and listening to it, but it was just like I knew I wanted to just do the deep dives, and so I took a break from YouTube last year once we moved here, and then
I noticed that because
yes,
people ask me
yeah.
about you, like, hey, again, they think we're all sitting around holding hands, singing "Kumbaya," or that we're sending each other's messages every day, and they're like, hey, what happened to Kaiya or something? I'm like, again, like the wild rat. How the fuck would I know, dude? I was like,
Yeah.
how would I know? But like,
Yeah.
well, so you, I get, and I don't know. So like, I understand burnout, but why do you think you became burnout? Like, I can speculate on my end from doing the YouTube, and I've said it because I'm just an open book, and technically speaking, I think some people might look, hey, you might shouldn't have said that on camera. I'm like, but the people that I followed that I see become very successful, they were just very honest about the good and the bad because let's call it, it's
Yeah.
called social media, not fucking
Yeah.
hide your shit. That means be social and just
Yeah.
tell all the good and the bad. And my
Yeah.
burnout, if you want to say burnouts, because I'm doing a video every day. I was like, it fucking kind of
Yeah.
sucks. But like,
Yeah.
why? Where was yours? Because you're actually putting effort into your videos. Maybe was it just the work end, or was it also? I can also see too. Like, I get a lot of fucking weirdos, like a lot. I can only imagine you as an attractive female. It's got to be times 1,000.
Yeah, I'll say it right now. If you personally DM me and I do not respond to you, the reason why is because I either get really fucking weird things or I get nudes. There is no in between.
Yeah, see. I've never
There is
gotten nude in my I've
no
never
in
gotten nude in
between.
my life, and I'm thankful to
Yeah.
say like
You
that would
want
get
to
old.
know something, J Dog? So I had this guy that sent me a literal
Dick,
schlong
dick,
pic. Okay. And he but it was right after my death deep dive, and he was like, I saw, he sent it to me on Discord. He was like, I saw your death deep dive, whatever. And then he sends me a picture, no pants, but he's wearing his like human shirt, and he was like, speaking of human. And I'm like, literally, fuck off.
No, no. When you're getting these, what is it on though? Like when you say,
It's on Instagram.
oh,
It's been
okay.
on
But
Discord.
you could
Yeah.
send you could
So
send nudes on Instagram.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so I literally I don't know how that shit works. I literally don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I'm again,
So
I'm the worst when it comes to this shit. Like, I have an Instagram. I didn't even create it. Dawn of the Dead from Nunslaughter created it. That's why some
yeah,
people are like, dude, why does this look like a Nunslaughter shrine? I'm like, because he wanted to do it because he
because it
sees.
is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, I never even seen it, so I was like, I don't know. He just
Yeah.
asked me. He's like, hey, do you mind if I do an Instagram for you? And obviously, somewhat with the incentive of another way of advertising Nunslaughter. I'm like, you know what, dude? It, any exposure is free exposure and is good exposure, so I don't care.
Yeah.
So I was like, just go ahead. I was like, because I was like, maybe if I get the willpower want to do it, I'll take it over. I was like, but with
Mhm.
you, YouTube's bad enough to where I even look at the comments. I literally want to reach to the screen half the time and strangle these fucks. And I know on
Yeah.
Instagram it's 100 times worse. I was like, my head, I think, will physically fucking explode if I have to deal with those idiots over there.
Yeah. It's hard with the comments, especially because I've gotten a lot of hate and been called a lot of names and stuff. And it's like it doesn't affect me anymore because I that was part of my break too. So it was like I was just fatigued from dealing with so much internet hate, but I was also not in the right mental state because I would check it also. So you
Yeah,
have to like not check it. So if
correct.
you're continuously doing it, it's just, yeah, it's really bad for your mental health. So it's like I took a break to just kind of like mentally reset myself. And then I started up with the deep dives
But did you
again.
take a break when you
So
took? Because again, I'm on the other platforms, but I know you do. You mentioned Twitch. I don't even know what that shit is. Twitch. Like I literally don't even know what Twitch is and all that
which
shit.
is great. It's a
What do
live
you? What did you take
streaming
a? Did you take a
platform.
break from those and Instagram, or did you take a break just from YouTube?
Just from YouTube. So, and it was actually very, um, I guess, healing and very educational for me because it's like, part of the reason why I took the break is because I moved and the move sucked. And then it was like I was getting, integrated with the ranch lifestyle. I mean, we're completely off grid out here. So it's like it was a change coming from like living in town to being like on solar, the generator, everything. And so,
Wait, you're in a
um,
generator? Like you? Do you even have Wi-Fi?
yeah, I have Starlink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Starlink's been good. So, but
Well, when
yeah,
you
it's
say
like
like so,
during
like
my break,
how far is the nearest grocery store?
an hour away.
Oh yeah, you're holy fuck. You're like I know exactly because my parents own a cabin down south that they've owned all my life, and it's like that. The
Yeah.
fucking everything's like the highway's like an hour. Like, but you said
Yeah.
do you like it like that?
I did.
What do you mean you did? You just moved there like a year
I
ago,
did.
so you already burn out.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
because
it's been
like my dad
fine.
wants to live like that, but my mom just doesn't want to move down there because my parents are still married, and my mom don't
Yeah.
want to live there. But my dad, like, if my mom was to die tomorrow, my dad would totally move down there and just live off the
Yeah.
land, hunt, and garden. But me, I'm the opposite. I was like, I can't live like that. So it's a
Yeah.
personal thing. So like,
It's very difficult. Well, and the one thing I learned too is there are a lot of people that are like, I just wish I could live off grid. I wish I had some land. I wish I had a garden. Like, then I could have some chickens, do this thing, XYZ, get out of town, whatever. You hear it all the time. I
all the
even
time.
hear people do it, in the cities because I was helping with the farmers market significantly last year. But it's like you do not know what it's like until you are out here. You have 4 feet of snow, like the generator's not turning on, like you have wood stove. You have to make sure your wood is dry. Like it is a completely different environment out here.
No,
And
everyone wants it's human nature, and I'm guilty of it too. You want what you don't have. You always think the grass is green on the other side. And
yeah,
it's usually, I'll be honest, like before I hit, it was right before I hit around age 30, my mid 20s. I took for granted Hell's Headbangers like a motherfucker. Like, just like
yeah,
almost hated it and took it for granted. Um, and looking back on it, like there was a part of me like I was like, if I could get just a good paying day job, I'd rather that because there's no days off with what I do. Like I'm here at the
yeah,
like I work 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Christmas Day, I'm replying to emails. But
yeah,
I when I start to compare myself to other people's lives and people I would know, and maybe at a family function talk about their job and shit, I keep reminding myself because that's where my appreciation came. I'm like, fuck that. I was like, I don't want what they have
Yeah.
because I mean, I have a in-law, like his job, he makes decent money, but I make quite a bit more money. And he
Yeah.
works way harder. Like his is very, very, very physically demanding, and some of it's outside of the
Yeah.
winter. I'm like, fuck. I was like, I got it pretty fucking easy. I was like, this is,
Yeah.
he's starting at 4 a.m. He's doing 12-hour days, physically lifting heavy pipes with gloves. I was like, fucking fuck that, dude. I'll take my goddamn emails any day of the week. So it reminds,
Yeah.
I was like, and he makes less money than me. I'm like, fucking, I'm fucking got it good. So you got to remind
Yeah.
yourself sometimes with what you got because no matter what, you're going to take it for granted. You're like, oh, so and so's got it better. He's like, well, I mean, some people, so and so might. I mean, some people's situation really sucks, but in some cases, it might
Yeah.
not be.
Yeah, no, it's just it was hard. It was a hard lesson to learn that like what I enjoy doing in my job, which is creating content, streaming, like doing all those things, it doesn't really flow very well with the sheep herder lifestyle, I guess. And it's just a lot of physical labor, and it is one of those things where shit can hit the fan in the blink of an eye. Like you can do the morning chores and go back up to the house, and you could have a lamb die being electrocuted because they got, their head stuck in the electrical
So
fence.
is that
And
so?
you're
Hold
like,
on, hold on. Is this kind of like your day job then? Like, you live on the farm, but is this like, are you just helping out, scooping shit and fucking feeding some lambs every now and again, or is this like your day job where your income is? And the reason I asked too is, well, the obvious, but also because talking to Cassidy, I thought he says he has a job that he drives like an hour each day.
yeah, he does. So
Okay, so he's not
he,
working on the farm,
no, no, he's not working on the farm. He works for the county right now.
but you work on the farm then.
So I work on the farm, but this is like my full-time job, basically.
What, YouTube's your
So
full time job, or the shit shoveling your full
just
time job?
content, no, like the content creation that I do is my full-time job, but I do help out with the ranch.
Now, do you,
So,
do you get
and
not
that's
that's any of my business, but is that like a side hustle, or is it just like you get to live there for free, or like,
pretty much just get to live here for free.
okay, so
Yeah.
it's rent free, yeah.
So, yeah. So it's rent free. And yeah, I was doing the markets and yeah, helping to count sheep. We were shearing sheep. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much stuff. Mostly I was doing like the marketing, like the farmers markets, and then I was helping with like the website and social media and stuff like that. Because
Oh, they have
that's
that.
my
So they
field.
have that part. So they are somewhat to the times too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But she, like, my mother-in-law is old school. Like she like her whole family has been doing the sheep ranching stuff. So she is not very like computer savvy or whatever. She's like, I just want to
Yeah.
work with my sheep. So
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why we moved out here, was so that I could help her with, the Instagram, the Facebook, the website, because that's all stuff that I know how to do. So and then yeah, we just live here rent free. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice. But I mean, so like, by the way, too, again, like I'm just a fucking idiot, so I ask shit like, 'cause I don't think. Because me, I'm like, I talk about anything, and I forget that not everybody does. So if I ever ask anything you don't talk about, just
No,
pass. Like, I don't
no,
care.
it's fine.
Because sometimes I ask even my wife, and she's sitting there, she's like, "You probably shouldn't have asked that." I'm like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "I don't know," but I always like that. But like, but you said like you're kind of getting burned out a year in. Where do you see
Hmm.
yourself long term? Especially when you guys get married and stuff. Like, you don't want to be miserable looking down a fucking barrel of a sheep gun because you hate your life.
Oh yeah. Well, I will say things are changing, and within like the next month or two, we will be in a different scenario.
So, but are you moving again, fucking gypsy?
Maybe.
Well, like in a different state. Well, plus, if you were to move again, let's say theoretically, if you were to, would it be a different state again, or just within close distance this time? Because like you're like, it's one
Oh,
thing like I moved and I bought houses, but I'm like I'm not. I've lived in Ohio all my life is what I'm getting at. So I've never
yeah.
under. The only person I know that's like that is Donna Dad from Nunslaughter. He's lived in tons of different states, and I
Yeah.
think it's really cool. I truly believe people like what you're doing and people that travel a lot, bands that are going all over, they are truly the people that are living the life experience because realistically, let's just say we're all guaranteed roughly 75 to 80 years, which is a life expectancy.
Yeah.
If we're all guaranteed to that, we're just in one long movie. And the biggest experience of that movie is going to be your experiences all around the world, not just in your own little bubble shell. So it's people like
Hmm.
yourselves or bands traveling all over that you truly are living what you should be doing as far as because what is a life? It's just a collection of memories. So people like
Yeah.
myself, you could say I'm not living at all. It's like, dude, you're at a warehouse all your life. You lived in Ohio. Jesus fuck, man, you didn't live. You existed. But I don't know. That's
You're
all I
surrounded
know.
by music though, and different musicians and all of that sort of stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, but if you meet a lot of these musicians again, like I I got don't get me wrong. There's for example, last year my fest, right? Flying an
Yeah.
attic, and I was their chauffeur. That was a lot of fun because those guys were really, really, really cool, right? But people are like,
Yeah.
oh, of course, it's a band you like, It's just like, no, no, dude. I was like, I can name names right now that I won't, that everybody knows. Bands we have worked with, bands that I'm a big fan of. I'm a big, big fan. I was like, I wouldn't have these motherfuckers anywhere. I wouldn't have them within a 2 mile radius of my house, unless
Yeah.
inside. So it's like, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I was like, I like their music, and that's it. There's guys that I'm a fan of their bands that I don't like them as a person. I was like, I think the band's great. I was like, as a person, I think he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. Separating the
So,
art from the artist is important.
well, that's what I'm saying. It's not all it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, and going to shows and shit, which actually I wanted to get into that too about you, is going to shows and shit. Since the channel, I've done a lot more networking and I've met some really cool people and I've developed relationships that I wouldn't have otherwise. Kind of like a rekindled relationship was with Seth from Centurion Severe Torture. I do those podcasts with him called Death by Seth. Because we first met
Yeah.
in 2001 and we've met several times, but we've rekindled through the channel. Like we didn't talk for last time I saw him probably the channel was when they came to Maryland Death Fest, and that was 2016. And even
Yeah.
my it's funny because I don't even know if I told Seth this, but if he watches this, you'll see. Is even my wife said because we're at Maryland Death Fest, me, Eric, and Chase were all there vending. That was the last time Chase even went to Maryland Death Fest and vended. And the three of us were there at the booth, and Seth and Patrick came from Severe Torture. My wife's there helping the vend. I can honestly say, she's like, that's the happiest I've ever seen the three of you together. She's like, I've never seen you guys in the same room, like talk and stuff, just rekindling with them. But then those times
Yeah.
go by, and I started the channel in 2021. So it rekindled relationships like that. And I've made some new ones that have become really good
Yeah.
friends. However, those are the good. The bad is I've met some fucking weirdos. Like if I found out a week later, oh, that dude was a Jeffrey Dahmer, I'd be like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, yeah. My question is to you, like when you go to shows, how bad do you get it to people coming up to you, and how much is of it's good, how much of it's bad slash neutral?
So actually, nobody ever comes up to me during the shows
So what
except
you
for
know, you
people
had
that,
no, you had to have gone to a show and somebody recognized you. Never?
not a single time, no.
Holy shit!
No. Except for one show. Well, because it was when I was living in Oklahoma, that I had a lot more people in my Discord that actually lived in Oklahoma, like in OKC. And so there's two amazing venues in OKC. There's the 89th Street, and then there's the Diamond Ballroom. And so I would have, people, I would meet up with people in my Discord at the shows there. And then I had one guy who had been supporting my Patreon for like 3 years, and he was at the Cattle Cap show at the Diamond Ballroom. Before he moved, and so he waved to me from afar, but he didn't bother me. So, but otherwise, no, I don't get people that recognize me in
Well,
my
I can tell you
shows.
that. Okay, then I'll put it to you this way. Then, like, if you were to fly out and come to my fest or like a Maryland Death Fest, and let's say you're hanging out, you definitely would get people that like want to talk to you and take photos. And again, most of it, I would say most, it's neutral. It's not bad or good. It's just, oh, thanks. I appreciate your support, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good. We're like, holy shit, that dude was really like. There's a couple like I met a kid at the airport from Hell's Heroes. I don't remember his name. He has to watch all my shit. And I just liked him. He was just funny. Like he knew my lines, like ones that I said once or twice. Like the shit. Like I said, I'm like, oh, dude, I got that from Groundhog's Day. Like I said that, and
Hmm.
he used it on me, and I was just. But he was young. He was younger than you, and it was just a
Yeah.
good experience. But then I have some shit where I'm like, we actually had. Well, probably shouldn't say this because I don't want to give away my thing. Put it this way, where there's times where like Lindsay knows to pry me away. because she's like, yeah, this is like
Yeah.
it's beyond uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if
And
they're
that's
already,
always,
especially if they're
yeah.
already weird. If they're already weird and they're intoxicated, it gets really fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, I've had that a little bit. I mean, I'm used to dealing with, I guess, intoxicated weirdos when I
Mhm.
was doing shows in Portland. So my whole music career was in Portland, Oregon. And so it's like, I mean, God, I wish I had been a metalhead in Portland because the scene there is just phenomenal. And the venues, like the whole grime of Portland, is just fantastic for that. But yeah, I did all of my music there. And so definitely there were some sweaty individuals that, yeah, my mom was like, she'd come to all my shows because I was like 8. I mean, like I said, I started my band at like 17. So between like 17 and like 24 is when I was doing it at like the height, you
Mhm.
know? And so my mom was always like Mama Bear, and she'd be like, okay, you got to get away from her now, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Now, are you still
but
doing
I
that
could
same?
also
Are you
deal with
still
it.
doing that same band?
No, I'm well, kind of. So the band I created was Kaiya on the Mountain.
Mhm.
And so now that's more just like a solo thing. And I've been working on like my second full-length album for a while. If I could just stay in one place for more than a year, then maybe I could get it done.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so that album I'm still working on, and it's arguably, I mean, I guess every artist says this about their next record, it's their best,
Yeah,
songwriting and
they do.
whatever, you know. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I took a break from music too because I was so fucking burnt out from it. I mean, over like 10 years of just performing, studio time, writing, like doing shows, doing festivals, like I mean, I literally have a memory of myself. We had a residency at this bar for like 3 months over the summer. And I remember I was working a full-time job at the time at a retail joint. I was working 9 hours, like 5 days a week, and I literally got out of my shift, changed into my outfit in the bathroom. I didn't have a license at the time. So my mom picked me up, drove me all the way downtown, and I got out of the car, got my guitar, and went right up on stage and performed like
Mhm.
immediately. So I was very, very, very burnt out from doing music.
Now, when you're saying you do
Um,
this, you're performing, Ken, because I'm some fucking chucklehead metalhead. So I'm used to just some headbanging fucking retards on stage. But you're doing like country type stuff. I'm just assuming you're on stage with an acoustic guitar playing and singing. Am I correct in that?
yeah, yeah.
And
So
you
I
have
would
no other
have
members, like there's no drummers or
No, I
is there?
would. So I've done both. So I would do solo stuff with just me and my guitar, and then I would have my normal band setup was me playing guitar and singing. I'd have a bass player, a lead guitarist, and a drummer, and that's what it usually was. And then if I
What
could
were you
get
more comfortable
lucky,
with,
um,
solo or band?
I prefer playing with a band,
Okay.
because it's just easier to like vibe off of people. I got really lucky in Asheville for a time because I had a second guitarist that could be the rhythm guitarist, so I could just focus on vocals because that's always what I wanted to do was to like because I felt like playing guitar and singing was just such a ball and chain. Like I couldn't do anything and like interact with the audience. So being able to have that the rhythm guitar being occupied by somebody else was really nice for a time. But yeah, I prefer being playing with other musicians and vibing off of their ideas. So
How does that work in that scene? Because I'm assuming, again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just assuming because I don't know that. I know literally nothing about that scene whatsoever. Um,
yeah,
you're playing, I'm assuming, like let's say bars, and are they paying you for that, or is it just like, hey, you're entertained? Like, how does that work? Because like metal shows, especially like I get bands, they're just like, here's what we need. Like, how does that work for
yeah,
you? Because you're technically like for a local bar, it's not like a show where it's like, hey, come see Cannibal Corpse. You're not like a touring
yeah.
band. So how does that work? Is it a paid gig, and
It
is it local
is
bars and
usually. Yeah, so I've done a variety of things. I've done shows where people are actually coming to see you, and then I've done residencies where you're playing a bar and you're most of the time like Portland is literally the best place to be a musician. I mean, the venues there pay so fucking good, especially if you go to like McMinimans or you get any of their residencies at those bars. They're so good because you could play a show and get paid like 350 flat just for being there and playing for, 2 to 3 hours. But
Mhm.
then you'll also get paid tips on top of it if you just set out like a little tip jar. So there were a lot of times that we made like $400 in one night, $500 in one night. I mean, I remember. And then in Asheville, it's like I was busking, and it's like I made $200 busking in like an hour and a half, and it was like, and that was it, and then I could just leave. So it's like I've made a lot of money doing a variety of different things, but yeah, most of the time you're just either playing just for tips or you're actually getting like a flat rate and then tips playing shows.
Well, then
So
let me
I
ask you
know
this:
it's different.
why did me? Just this is my the way my brain works, my business brain. If I was in your shoes, what's the reason? And there probably has to be a reason. Like where you're like, fuck this, I'm packing my bags. Let's move back there because hey, Cassidy, you could get a job anyways. By the way, you're driving an hour. That sucks regardless. So you can get a job that you're
Yeah.
probably going to hate regardless. So it doesn't matter where you're located. You can get a job there. Me, I have a musical career that I quit since I was 17. I was making my best bank there. I could do that on the weekends for a few $100 a night, plus do the YouTube gig during the week. That's just my
Yeah.
business brain where it would be going if I was in your shoes. Like, but maybe, well, maybe you just didn't think about it, and I just gave you an idea, or you already have, and there's a reason why you didn't do that. Is it because he needs to help mom out, or like,
Well, no, so that's actually something we were talking about recently because I've been really wanting to get back into it and actually get back into performing, even if it's just like little gigs because you can get paid well for it. So yeah, I was thinking about seeing what the new music scene would be like, um, I guess in Oklahoma, where we're gonna be, yeah, heading back to. So
well,
yeah,
so
so
but that's where you were doing it. Did you say Oklahoma, or where were you making your most money? Did you say Seattle
Portland,
or okay, okay,
Portland. Yeah.
okay,
So, yeah, I've been all over.
yeah.
I've been all over. I was in Austin for 15 years. I was in Portland for 10 or so. I moved to Asheville, North Carolina for like 2, 3 years. And then yeah, and then I moved to Stillwater and then here.
Now,
So
where's your mom at?
So my family's in Arkansas, and that's part of the reason too why we're moving back to Oklahoma. Just because my grandmother's getting really old, so she's like 85 and her health has really declined.
Yeah,
And so it's just, and I only have like two people in my family, so it's like my mom and my grandma. So and
you
they
don't
live in
so
Arkansas.
you don't talk to your dad.
So actually I do.
Well,
I
hold
forget
on.
I forget that yeah, no. So like I said, I was born in Leominster, Massachusetts. My parents never married.
Hmm.
So when I moved to Austin as a baby, it was just with my mom. And so I never really had much of a relationship with my dad. In fact, the last time I've physically seen my dad was when I was like 12. And so
Oh
he
shit.
reached out like a few months ago and like texted me, and he was like, "Hey," or no, he didn't text me because he didn't have my number. How did he reach out to me? I think I got some message on like Facebook or something, and he was like, "Hey, it's your dad. Do you want to like, rekindle, And so, yeah, I forget that. Yeah, I have him in my life now too, which is
I've
actually really
always wondered what I was like because
cool.
I have people that I know that they're in a very similar situation, and I cross and
Yeah,
I thought to myself like, well, how would that feel? Like you're a grown ass adult, you haven't talked to one of your parents in whatever 18 years. How does that feel?
yeah.
They re-hit you up. Is it are you happy? Are you sad? Are you angry? Or what goes through your mind?
Um, well, it's weird because all I know from my childhood is my mom. She
Yeah,
was both my, mom and dad. And so it's like that's all I know. And I, like I said, never had any relationship with him. So it's new and it is exciting because I only have like the two people in my family. So it's
you have no
nice to
siblings.
have. I'm an only child, which is
Oh
also
shit.
why I'm really awkward and introverted. I'm very
Oh, you're,
quiet.
you're less awkward and introverted than me, and I have six siblings. So explain that. Maybe
Oh
my mom
yeah.
brought me on my head.
No, I mean, I grew up as an only child, but in a very, very creative environment. And so my mom always raised me. I mean, you can't be raised in Austin, Texas and not really be a creative person in one way or another. So it's like she was this senior video editor at this really awesome like Latin advertising company. I mean, she was editing commercials for like their like Super Bowl for like Argentina. And so it's like I would be hanging out in those in her like office, and it was just such a creative environment. And so that's part of like how I got into that like artsy creative scene as well at a young age. But my mom always told me like just be yourself. Don't be afraid to do anything. You can do whatever you want, you know?
What does she
So
think about you doing the channel and shit? I'm assuming she watches it.
she does. And my grandma, actually, she's very supportive too, even at her like, 85 years. So, I was very surprised that they were supportive. They've been supportive since like day one. So they don't listen to that music or
Yeah.
partly understand it, but they are happy for me. And they're like, we just see how happy you are. Like, doing it, and my grandma is always like, you should wear makeup more often in your YouTube videos. And I'm like, well, that's not the point of the video, but thank you.
Well, maybe not so much your mom then, but your grandma, because she's old school, old school. Like she's older than my parents. Your grandma is.
Yeah.
Because my parents are like about 70. Um, what does she think? Because she sees the videos and you're wearing like these black clothes, incantation. The grand she doesn't know what it is, but some stuff if it has like
Yeah.
an inverted cross or a pentagram, does she like? And you being a female, like maybe oh
Yeah.
boys, like I think that's how my mom took it. Like oh boys are boys, like she rented Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone movies when we were a kid, like kid, you know what I mean? She's like because she rated all boys
Yeah.
until my sister was born. She's the youngest. I was 8 years old. My sister was born. Until then, she raised fucking six boys. So I think
Yeah.
metal just was like, yeah, just that's boy shit, right? But you, and especially your grandma's even older generation, did she like, hey, what's like what is this stuff? Like, why are you like wearing black? And like, does she or does she doesn't say shit?
Honestly, she really doesn't say anything
Okay.
much. Like she's very supportive of it. And she'll watch some of my videos. But I do remember we went to visit her for Thanksgiving like a couple years ago, and we had one of your like stickers. It was like if
Oh,
you need
mine?
metal, go to hell. Yeah, it was like on our water bottle. And she
Oh,
read
okay.
that and she was like, and then she made like some face. She was like, but she didn't say anything,
Oh, okay, okay,
you
okay.
know but she was like Kaiya, and she was like, well, but yeah, that's the
So
only
what do you
real
think?
reaction.
What would Nana say if you walked in with Cradle of Phil's famous shirt, Jesus is a cunt on the back? Are you familiar with that?
I am not. No, I haven't seen it.
Like the most
Um,
infamous shirt. People were actually have been arrested for that shirt. But I think I don't know the story fully, but I know two people have
oh
been
my
arrested. I think
gosh.
one knucklehead because he went to a church with it. It's like, well, dude, you're an idiot. Like, why would you? Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's you
why
never
would
seen it. It's like it's got to be the most known as the most offensive shirt in history, and they've sold
no? Should
since.
I look
It's
it
got
up? Okay, hold
yeah, it's
on.
got the nun. She's shoving a crucifix up her cunt on the front, and then the
Uh
back. It just says back on the back, big and bold. It says Jesus is a cunt.
Jesus. Okay, hold on. I'm looking it up.
So when
I
Nana
am
heard of that,
honestly I am honestly not that familiar with Cradle of Filth's like stuff. Oh my god,
I'm
look
a
at that
big fan of them.
shirt.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Ah. No, oh yeah, no, she would definitely like slap my ass for that. She would not be happy.
Because even at this point,
But
my parents, if I walked in there with Jesus is a cunt to a family function, I think my mom might be this in my later years now, in this year's, just because of a few recent things I don't want to get into in the last few years. She might say nothing just because I think she feels that I'm super callous and I might just tell her to fuck off. But at the
yeah.
same time, I'm not sure. They might like my dad might be like, come on, man, did you really have to wear that? Like, there's kids here. Like, I could see him maybe stepping up and stuff. But at the same time, because they're so numb, but at the same time, I pick
Yeah.
my battles. Like, I'll wear cannibals, butchered at birth, and some of the blasphemous stuff, but something where it's blatantly obvious like that, they still, even them, I'm not sure. I almost want to do it as an experiment. Just throw it on and see if they would say anything. I'm not sure. I could
Yeah.
see it both ways. I could see them saying nothing because they'd be too afraid that I'd be like, if you don't like it, fuck off, I'll leave. And I
Yeah.
can also see them addressing it. Like, come on, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I
Yeah.
guess I'd be kind of
There's
curious.
levels to it.
Yeah, there is.
So it's like, because it's like I've got a lot of shirts that are, yes, they have a little bit of gore, but like I could wear them. And then there's other ones that are like definitely not appropriate for a family function. But I'm also the opposite. So okay. So I was a huge Hannah Montana fan when I was like 12. If in 2006, she ruled Disney. So it's like I scored on these like vintage Hannah Montana t-shirts when I was working at the thrift shop in Portland. So sometimes I will troll. I love a good troll. I will troll my audience by wearing the Hannah Montana t-shirts while we listen to like slam or like I don't know, anything that's like totally polar opposite. So that's also what I like to do.
No, you're funny.
So,
See, I'm so underground and I'm so cavalt with a V, goddammit, that I troll my audience too. But my trolling is I'll purposely wear either Cradle of Filth or Dave Borger because the cavalt guys they hate them. They say that's not true black metal. But
yeah.
because the early Cradle of Filth albums, uh, I liked a lot. The last one I liked was Midian, and that was like 2001. And when that first
Mhm.
came out, I was like, I don't really like it. But I listened to it and I like it a lot now, but that's the last one I like.
Yeah.
So that was 25 years ago. But beneath that, their Cruelty and the Beast album, which that's the tour I saw them on. So that would have been 99. That and then there's four records. I like a
Mhm.
lot, but there's a lot of guys they fucking hate them, and they like that's poser black metal. You're a poser. And the funny thing is it's mostly people your age or even younger, and I find it hysterical when they say that because I was like, well, dude, you gotta understand when the first album came out, Principle of Evil Made Flesh. I was like, the old heads that you worship. I was like, they literally like, dude, that's one of the most evil records in
They
existence.
worshipped that album.
Yeah, they all liked them. Like it's funny, like guys like to rip on me, and I did the busted. Is they there's a band called Moonblood for Germany, and they're as cavalt as it comes. If you like, I think the band sucks, but nonetheless, it's nice cavalt raw black metal, right? And all these cavalt
Yeah.
raw black metal guys, they're so goddamn underground that they sleep in fucking bullet belts and chains and fucking sunglasses. That's their PJs, right? Combat,
Yeah.
don't forget the combat boots too. That's their nighties. That's how underground they are, right? That was the Moonblood guys. I've somebody sent me it's hilarious a demo picture of a Moonblood guy. He's wearing a Cradle of Filth shirt back then. I'm like,
Oh
see,
my god.
even the guys in Moonblood like Cradle of Filth. You dumb fucks.
Yeah.
I was like, and you guys make fun of me. But where I can understand to an extent, if you found out about Cradle of Filth, let's say you're 25 and you first heard them in let's say 2010 or something, and you saw them in Hot Topic. I'm
Mhm.
like, well, yeah, dude, that shit's fucking garbage. I was like, that's literally like saying, you like Metallica, bro? And the first thing you heard was like Load. I'm like, I don't like that gay ass record, dude. No, not that. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's like you're kind of like making fun of yourself, dude, is showing how out of the loop you are. I was like, we're not talking about those shitty albums. But yeah,
Yeah.
Cradle Filth, give them a listen. Yeah, I like I said, I like the first five releases, but the first four I love. But Debut Borger, same thing. I liked. You know what's funny with them is their first two albums I think are kind of boring, but I like their Enthroned Triumph Darkness album a lot. Spiritual Black Dimensions, which that's the tour I first saw them on, and that was in 1999. And then Puritanical Euphoric Misanthrope, that's the album. Those three I like. After that, I didn't like anything.
Fell off for you. Yeah, so like black metal is the one genre and thrash, I would say, are the two genres that I am the least experienced with. I am way more familiar with the death metal, so it's like I've listened to the new Dimmu Borgir album, which I really liked.
Oh, the new one's good.
Um
So I haven't heard the last. The last one I heard was Death Called Armageddon, and that was 2004. I didn't really like it. I
yeah.
haven't heard anything, but people were saying in my comments, "Hey, dog, have you heard the new D Burger? It's terrible." So I don't know. That's just what I heard, but I haven't.
So, yeah, full disclaimer though, I am not super familiar with their discography. So I have
Yeah.
really only listened to the new one. Because I'm trying to keep track of like all the new releases this year. And so yeah, I just listened to the new Dimmu Borgir album and I thought it was good. But again, I don't have the rest of their catalog to reference it. And for a while I didn't listen to a lot of new releases because I was like, well, I'm not familiar with their discography, so I don't feel like I'm It's appropriate for me to listen to it and like talk about it. But then my subscribers, they were like, just fuck it, just listen to it. If you like it, talk about it. So that's kind
Yeah, I'm
of,
weird. See,
yeah.
I think because I come back when I was a kid, I loved comic books and I collected especially X-Men and Wolverine. And I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
buy the newest ones until I had the oldest ones because I wanted the storyline in order. So I think that's
Yeah.
where my mentality went from. When I got into metal, if I heard a band, I was like, it's got to be it's got to be the first album or the demo in order. Now it didn't always
Yeah.
land like that. Again, the first Cannibal I heard, but I'm just getting into music, was their fifth album. It's the first one with George Corpsegrinder. It wasn't even with Chris Barnes.
Yeah.
But once having got into it and I was starting to buy my own stuff, I wanted to go back and hear older stuff. I was like, who started this genre? And if I had the choice, let's say you had a band, they had 3 albums, and I never heard them, and so someone's like, hey, check them out. It was always, what's their first album? Let me listen to it because I wanted to hear it in order. I
Yeah,
just thought that's
I'm the
like,
exact same way. So
yeah,
that is why I do the deep dives the way I do. So it's like I basically just listen to the new releases on my Twitch streams. And so, but the deep dives are where I can go in order because that's how my brain works. Like I need to go from the very beginning and work my way through. And yeah, that's what I do with the deep dives.
yeah.
So,
That's why
yeah.
I bust the kiddos' balls today, or the young bucks or the newers, like they'll bring up these newer bands I haven't heard of, and that's cool. I like newer bands too. Some, I mean, way less than I used to, but nonetheless, I'm just like it's my way of just I guess I don't know, advertising and promoting, or just my mentality. Like if you're gonna listen to these newer bands, it's like, well, check out the older bands that were doing it first, because it just
Yeah.
feels like, I don't know, like if you like some new Swedish death metal album that came out this year, but you don't know who Dismember is, you never heard Like an Ever Flowing Stream. I'm like, that's just, it's not like you're a bad person. You need to get your ass kicked. It's just weird. I'm like, how is it like what? Like
Yeah.
it's just
And
very,
so
very
that
weird.
is, yeah. And so that is where I'm kind of in this weird place and was for a little while is because it's like, I wasn't super familiar with new releases, but I wasn't super familiar with like who started it. So I'm
Yeah,
also, but then I'm doing both.
yeah.
And so the deep dives are a great way for me to learn the origins of stuff like incantation. That was so educational for me. And that's why I do it. That's why I do the deep dives because I want to know who started it, how they did it, and then also the different scenes. So I've done a lot of like the New York death metal scene, or I guess that area.
Hmm.
So it's just a really good way for me to learn all of those things. But then, yeah, like I said, in the Twitch streams, we do a lot of newer bands. We also do some older ones. I mean, we did Carcass originally on there. We did Amon Amarth. Dying Fetus was on there. So it's a little bit of both.
Why don't you
So
try on your again, this is just me shouting out since I've done it like how I'm doing now. It's easy. Why don't you try to do like interviews on your channel with just whoever, any bands?
I thought about it, but I was like, I feel like I personally need more experience and I guess education within metal to
I don't
do
think so,
it,
honestly, because like
you
I thought
know?
that the thing is we're self critics, and you know what's funny is our stories are very, very similar for the YouTube. Just like
Yeah.
you said that the reason you started the reaction videos for metal is because your band members were saying it'd be so funny, a girl that looks like you reviewing this stuff. You realize that's literally almost verbatim what happened to me. Is as I was when I started to do the Hellcast and shit like that to help Craig out, because Hellcast was Hell's Headbangers podcast. Not getting into the whole
Yeah.
history. Long story short, he worked for us for several. He was our first employee. He's our brother, but he was the first person that we hired. The 3 of us. He's the youngest, and he wanted to do something else for the company other than open rec boxes and shit like that. So he started a podcast, right? Long story short is he had some helpers, they fell off. He had me on and stuff, and then he had a guy that was helping out named Tommy from Redefining Darkness, and they're the ones that tell me, they're like, dude, you need to start your own channel. I'm like, why? Who the hell's gonna want to watch that? Like why? That doesn't even make sense. But similar like you, like, because you're so out of the loop on shit, like especially like with life things, that it'll be really
Yeah.
funny. Like the people's your takes are just really, really funny. I'm like, what? Like, but kind of like what you're thinking, like, why would anyone care what I would have to say about Cannibal Corpse? Like, I don't even, I never heard this shit. So
Yeah.
And then if you were to say, hey, go do interviews, what's really fucking funny is rewind, like this is like 15 years ago. Dawn of the Dead asked me from Nunslaughter, hey, would you be interested in going and interviewing every Nunslaughter member that's ever been in the band? Keep in mind, this is not a small feat. They're all in different states and shit now.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the, like, is so and so in Texas? Yeah, I was like, how do I do that? He's like, well, dude, you go get a fucking airplane, you get a flight and fly. I'm like, dude, I don't, why would I
I'm like,
interview a
that's a
big,
lot of work.
yes, I'm not doing this. But fast forward years, I end up doing interviews. So it's like kind of full circle. But even then,
Mhm.
but let's just say they're all in one room. I'm like, interview? I don't know how to do it. Like, what am I going to ask? I don't know. But like, kind of like, I hit you up for an interview. This isn't really an interview. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
And you know what's hilarious about it is who's the biggest podcaster, or at least he's got to be one of them. It's Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Look up Joe
And it's just a
Rogan.
conversation.
That's all
Yeah.
he's doing. That's all he and
Yeah.
I didn't steal that from him. I actually realized this in the past year or so because there's a couple episodes he did that I watched with like Billy Bob Thornton because I like some of his movies and stuff. And it was a good
Mhm.
video. I'm like, oh, he's not interviewing this motherfucker at all. I was like, they're literally talking about cigars and shit. And that's what he does. And he's the biggest podcaster. So like here,
Yeah.
what I like to do though is I like to have just a handful of questions kind of in the back of my mind as backup. Because again, some guys
Yeah.
stall or whatever. If the conversation needs to go somewhere, you just have those in your back pocket. So you can easily do it. Easily do it. There's
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I've thought about doing it. But yeah, I think it's just yeah, it's me being the worst, my own worst critic,
We all are though.
because I'm
Yeah,
like,
we all are.
yeah. So, I think what I would like to do is do a few, like maybe another year or two of just like the deep dives and really get to know more of the history. And then I would also love to start a like an actual printed like fanzine again.
Mhm.
Because I think that would be so cool. It's one of my favorite things to like look at when I'm researching for my deep dives is there's so many sites that actually like scan the old fanzines and have the interviews and all that stuff. And I just find that's so cool. I don't know how well it would do, but I don't know. I feel like the whole physical media revival, it's still strong, still going strong.
Oh,
So
it is. Well, that's how I make
yeah.
a living. So again, this is
Yeah.
literally like the
Well, I think more like the newspaper, magazine, like I guess the paper side of it.
oh, that I can't comment
So
on. Yeah, that I'm sure. That I'm
yeah.
not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And you know
So
what's it's funny, like, yeah, just daily newspapers in the town and stuff. I guess I would be curious what stats are nowadays as compared to 20 years ago. Like,
right.
because I have no clue.
I don't think, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of, well, nowadays the newspapers, what they're doing is everything is digital. And so they'll just basically just have it, something that you can email or subscribe to. And then the magazines, it's like they're not doing monthly magazines. Instead, they'll do seasonal. So like a lot of not that I fucking read any of these things, but like the fashion magazines or Cosmopolitan or whatever, it's like they'll do like one every 3 months or something like that. And that's all they'll do. And then everything else is just digital. So
Why have you, or maybe you haven't done a metal band though yet, have you?
I have not. I have been asked many times if I would be down to do it, and yes, I would. So I have one as a troll. Actually, I have three different ideas. Okay, I'll tell you them. So one of them is a troll idea. And then one of the other is a serious one. So the serious band I would love to do either some type of heavy metal or hard rock project, something along the lines of I don't have the range like Rob Halford does, but something along the lines of like what Judas Priest does, or maybe High Spirits, or something that's more like Stoner Doom esque. And then my dream, because I think I could pull it off, would be to completely re-record Anal Cunt's Picnic of Love. I love that
Okay.
album. I love that album so much. It is literally one of my favorite records of all time because it's like such a troll piece, such a troll masterpiece. But the guitars are beautiful on that. Yes, Seth Putnam is being an absolute troll, but like the lyrics are not terrible. So I feel like I could do a pretty decent job of like doing actual good, like kind of country vocals that would work for it. And then my troll is um I would love to burp. I can burp really well, Justin. I am a belcher. So I can belch. I want to like do this like slam gore thing where I just like belch into a microphone, down tune it, and reverb it out and have it be like an actual
Well, to be honest, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean,
project.
that's kind of the thing in the late 90s, early 2000s, similar to what the idea was. For example, Last Days of Humanity, when they did, especially their second album, that's the first one I heard, Hymns of Indigestible Separation. Check out Hell's Headbangers. I think we might still have some LPs left. We pressed that. Might be sold out. I can't remember. Nonetheless, we pressed it on vinyl, goddammit. But that was the first one I heard. That's their second full length. And that was the first album. I know there's a couple things prior, but they didn't do it as all their vocals. But I remember when Brutal Baxter, oh yeah, bro, it's got the toilet flushing vocals. That's what they call them, toilet flushing vocals.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it does kind of sound like a guy who's growling like a toilet flusher. And
Yeah.
so, like you're saying, Burt, like it's kind of what Gore Grind in the late '90s, early 2000s, when it was trying to like get different sounds and the vocals, everything. That's kind of what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I
That's
don't
what
know if
I
there's a
would
I don't know if
have.
there's a burper out there or not. It's you would think everything's been done at this point, so maybe it has. But if I'll be honest, I haven't heard it.
Yeah. I would love to just I mean that's like a troll dream of mine is to just attempt a gore grind record like that because I love
But if you were to do it, would you do everything? Like you don't know how to you can't do drums and shit, can you?
I can't play drums, no. I mean, I'm more than willing to learn how to program shit.
Mm,
Um, but that stuff takes time. You
yeah.
know. So,
So you'd actually need
um
members is what I'm getting at.
yeah, so I would most well, for me, I love live instruments. So it's like I especially the drums. If I'm gonna make any sort of record, I want real drums. Even
Yeah,
though I love
sure.
Mortician to
Yeah.
death, I would like real drums.
No, I've been saying no, no,
So,
yeah, because I only like a couple bands with drum machines, and
yeah.
if I was to start a band, it's like, well, yeah, it's kind of cool with Mortician shells, like, but that was kind of the uniqueness. I was like, I don't want a bunch of bands like that. That's kind of what gave them a
Yeah.
standout thing. So it's cool as a one off here and there band, but I was like, you don't want a bunch like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have live musicians for everything and then I would just yeah, just see what happens, you know. So, I haven't written anything metal yet, but I would definitely be interested in being in a metal band and doing it. Um,
And no one's
yeah,
hit you up yet and asked,
no.
really?
Mm-mm. No. Well, maybe. Like I said, I don't check my DMs very often.
You
So
don't
I
check your
think I've
text
had
very often either because you suck at replying.
what I
Hey,
do. You're welcome. I do. No, I absolutely do.
take forever, yeah. And I always say it too because it's funny. Like I love it when it's any a chick that takes forever to reply. I was like, hey, I know you don't go more than 5 minutes without checking your phone, so I know you got this goddamn message.
I'm terrible at responding to people. It is true. I am known for it. But yeah. I get very busy
But do you
and then I'm
overthink it too?
also
Like, I think I become really good. Like, I'm fast at replying, but it's like, I know, well, he doesn't say anything anymore, but I think like Chase hates how I do service emails because it comes off as maybe blunt or dickish because it's just fast. I
yeah.
just straight to the point. I was
Mhm.
like, there's no blunt or dickish. I was like, that's how I reply to everybody fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of it might just be a thumbs up, some might be a smiley face, or if it's question, just yes, no. Like, it's not, hey, bro, how was your weekend? Like, because I get so many messages, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So, is it possible that maybe you're overthinking it? Like, hey, should I type this up? I got to respond a certain way. I just
Oh,
whatever the answer.
absolutely.
Oh, okay, so yeah, see, I'm fast, and I'm
Yeah.
just like get bang, 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 bang.
Oh,
But people
yeah.
have taken that the wrong way, even in texts and shit like that, just because it's fast. Like, I was like, that's how I respond to everybody, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm a very, like I said, I'm a very introverted, like socially awkward person. And so it's like,
You're probably not
yeah.
as much as you think you are, because again, like,
Well, it's funny because when I met one of my subscribers, we went to this fantastic show in LA. It was Cattle Decap, Obituary, Carcass, and a Monomarth. It was like one of the first huge like shows I went to within the first year of me listening to metal. But he had been an old school subscriber of mine, and he was like, "You're a lot quieter and more introverted in person than I thought you were. You would be. Like I thought you were going to be this loud, like extroverted person and
oh,
whatever."
tons say that.
So
Tons of people met me say the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah. I've given the disclaimer many times on my channel. I was like, dude, if you naturally meet me, I am generally pretty quiet. I was like, unless you get me talking about something, I have something to talk. Because I'm not a person. I don't like break the uncomfortable silence chat. You know what I mean? Where you're sitting in a room and the only reason they're asking you something because there's uncomfortable silence. So they'll ask you about the weather. Or, hey, what'd you think about what Trump did? Who? I don't fucking know what he's doing, nor do I care.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
like pointless. I don't like pointless conversation. I like conversations that either educate me, motivate me, inspire me, or it's just very, very interesting. If it's just dumb shit, how the weather is, I was like, dude, you're wasting my time and you're kind of pissing me
Yeah.
off. But now I'm annoyed. So
Yeah.
if you don't have any of that type of conversation, I come off as very, very, very quiet. Like there's actually, I'm not going to say any names, lots of friends and family that have seen me almost borderline think my channel's fake as fuck. They're like, dude, he's nothing like that in person. Like if he's in a room,
Yeah.
you're lucky if you get a hello.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, well, somebody that comment, I'm like, yeah, I'm also not the biggest fan of you either, so I'm not going to go out of my way to talk. So actually, I'm being very nice by just keeping my mouth fucking shut.
Yeah. Some people, I've learned a lot of my years that some people just suck. You
Well,
know,
some, I think most.
a lot. Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
motto is
It's
to eventually everyone will let you down. By my
yeah.
experience, that's the truth. I have less
Yep.
than 5 people to date that I've known all my life that haven't yet. So everyone
Yeah.
else, they will eventually, now to what degree they'll let you down is depending, but eventually everyone will let you fucking down.
Yeah. So I just try my best to be kind, and also it's taken me a long time to like nip behavior or like say no, like I'm not interested in that or whatever, because I used to be very quiet and like just yes, like no, that that doesn't bother me or whatever. And now I'm trying to be more vocal and continue to be more vocal. And also as I've gotten older, I've gotten a lot sassier. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know where that came from, but yeah. Just sassier. So
No, you'll say, how far is the nearest club from you guys? Like, have you gone since you've lived in Cali? Have you gone to any shows?
mm-mm. Oh no, I have. So Reno, Nevada is the closest like
Oh
city.
shit,
That's where we do
you
our
got to
grocery
cross
shopping.
borders.
Yeah, so that's
Holy
the
smokes!
closest. Well, not really. So there's Reno is the closest one to us. That's where we do our shopping. And I was actually very pleasantly surprised because we had cattle decapitation come there, although I had already seen them twice. And then Peeling Flesh was there also. But no, Exhumed played in Sacramento. And because their new album is like flawless, like that is my album of the year, 1000%. So I was like, okay, I need to hear Shovelhead live in person. I need to see this aesthetic. So we drove like the 2.5 hours to that show. Oxygen Destroyer played. They were really awesome. So that was the most recent show that we
Have
went
you ever
to.
met? Did you get to meet like Matt Harvey or Ross Sewage and the guys in Exhumed?
Ross, we did. I really, really, really wanted to get Matt. He like disappeared after that show. I really wanted to get Matt to sign because we got two copies of their record. I wanted
Yeah.
him to sign at least one of them, but he like disappeared after the show. Ross was there though, so we got him to sign um one of the records. But no, I haven't met him yet.
Yeah.
So,
One of the coolest human beings I ever met in my life.
oh yeah, he seems very nice. Exhumed is one of my favorite bands to see live. We saw them at the Diamond Ballroom in OKC, and that was my first time ever seeing them. And they had the guy wearing the chainsaw. I forget
Yeah.
what his name is,
I think they call him
but
Dr. Nasty or something. Or Mr. Something
yeah,
like that. Yeah. Yeah, because that's something they didn't always bring him. So in the early days when they played, they always put a show on. Is the lineup when I first seen them? It was right before Slaughter Call came out. Gore Metal was the only studio album out. It was Mike Beams, Bud Burke, and Cole Jones, and Matt Harvey. And Bud Burke, the bass player, he would force himself every show. He would throw up on stage, all over the stage, because he could puke
oh
on
my
will.
god,
And Cole would spit out fire. And Mike Beams, the guitar player, and he's the one that did the low vocals. That's when Ross Sewage got kicked out after Gore Metal, because Ross sings on Gore Metal, but he was kicked out of
yeah,
the band. And Mike did it, and then Mike was doing the lows, and Mike was the guy that bring the chainsaw on stage for Limb from Limb. But they
Yeah.
always had that show aspect. But as far as bringing the Dr. Nasty or whatever, that was years and years later. But they've been doing it for a while now, for a good 10 years now.
Oh my God, yeah, it was so cool. And this new tour, because I'm assuming you've listened to their new album, but it's like all the
Mhm.
road aesthetics, and so it's like that's what they had on the live stage, was just like all the like cones and everything, and then they had Dr. Nasty on like a little tricycle, and he's like riding in the crowd, and they had these like blown up eyeball beach balls. Like, it was just so fun. I will say though, that Sacramento show was the weirdest fucking show I've ever been to in terms of the people. Like, there was a dude that was like bona fide reading a book in between like the sets. There were like women in front of us that were ripping absolute ass the whole time. And then there was like one dude who, I think he was like special needs or something, but he was so fucking rude. And I felt so bad for Matt, because the club we were at, I think it's called Club Colonial. So if you haven't been there, it's tiny. Like, the stage is tiny, tiny, tiny. I don't even know how they all fit on there. But it was like this dude was right up in Matt's face with his cell phone and everything, like practically touching Matt's guitar. Then he tried to reach out and like touch Matt, and the whole time Matt's trying to like interact with the crowd, and like you can tell that the dude's kind of distracting him. He did very good for like how distracting that dude was. But yeah, it was a weird show, but they did very good. So
But I'll try to remember this if I should, because I'm assuming Exhum's, I think I heard something Exhum's coming here kind of soonish. I'll text Matt, see if he wants to shoot another video, and I'll ask him about this shit on camera. But when it comes to like Matt and Ross, because I shot a bunch of interviews with them for on the channel, both them guys like that. I just text them. I'm like, if you want to, cool, because they're kind of like friend status, and I don't really like doing videos with friends. Not that I don't like doing them.
yeah,
I don't like asking, and the reason I don't is because I don't want them to feel obligated. And part of it is actually those are the harder ones to do because I've already talked about everything. It's easier to do
yeah,
with something with like, let's say you're a fan and you never really talked to the person. Those are harder because it's your first time talking. So anything's gonna be new. So I leave it up
yeah.
to them. I'm like, if you want to shoot a video, cool. I'll say if you don't, also cool, because part of me wants to do it and part of me doesn't. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I'll try to think about it again because I'll give me something to ask. Okay, so some guy was trying to grab your nuts in Sacramento. I heard. What's going on there?
Yeah, he was well, and then he would do this thing where he would shove, like legitimately shove people, and he shoved me multiple times, and like going from the stage to like the smoking area and then back, and he tried to shove his way back into like directly into the front row. And there was this one girl who was like, fuck off. Like, no, you are not getting in fucking front of me. And he was like, sorry. And then he just like shoved her and got right back into like the front row. And I was like, oh my God, this dude is so
Younger
annoying.
guy or older guy?
He was like about my age or
Oh,
so. I
okay,
don't know.
okay, yeah, yeah.
So, but it was weird. He was just filming the whole show on his phone. Like, right. I hate when that happens. I'm like, put your fucking phone down. So, as I like go to concerts and film stuff as well for like vlogs, so I'm just as bad. But I
Just to say,
also
I'm surprised you
try,
haven't interacted more. I'm surprised you haven't interacted like. I mean, I've seen you post some stuff, but again, like try to interact with the bands and things like that, just for nothing else, channel content. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I think for me it's like I just want to experience like the show, and I
Mhm.
guess let the bands like do their thing, you know?
Mhm.
Because I just love going to shows. So I like to just film a little bit here and there, but just experience it, and not have any distractions, you know? That's where I buy all my merch basically, because I know it goes directly to the band. So it's like that's I don't know. I just like to have it be an experience, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I could ask him for an interview and stuff, but I just haven't yet. So
You drink at all the shows?
no, I don't.
Okay, okay. I didn't know what kind of
So
showgirl you're. If you just stand there, arms folded, if you're a plaster or you get your mosher, or you know what I mean.
I am not a mosher. I am very uncoordinated, and kind of fragile, and if I went into that mosh pit, girl, I would break a leg. If not, I would probably fucking bust my nose open. Like
Possibly, yeah.
but Yeah, so which it's I mean, I love to be in the front row or I like to be where the audio is the best, which is not
Yeah,
always in the front
yeah.
row, you
No, no,
know.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Um but yeah, either where the audio is the best or in the front row so I can at least just like see them up close, you know what I mean? So,
Why have you ever brought Cassidy on your channel and shit? Since he's in this scene and he likes it and he seems pretty enthusiastic. Is that like your rule? Like, hey, you're not allowed, or he doesn't want to do it, or
I leave that totally up to him, honestly. Because the internet, for it sucks. I mean, it's just like people are fucking mean, and it's like you can just exist and be happy, and then people are just they can be really fucking mean. And so it's like I just told him like you can do whatever you want if you want to be on my channel. Great. I'm not going to force it though. So we kind of have this agreement that he's not in it just to like I guess protect his like identity and stuff like that too. If he wants to be in it, he can be. So it's kind of that.
but it
you
doesn't bother
know,
him at all. For example, since he's never made an appearance, and you're obviously the face of the channel in a male-dominated, you know, thing, genre. That
Space.
doesn't bother him at all. Just like even make his appearance. Like, hey, by the way, she's not single. That type of thing. Even just not that that would scare everyone off, but you know what I mean. Like almost
Yeah.
this is kind of make your appearance. Like he doesn't even feel like not even that.
Mm-mm. No. No, he's pretty confident, I guess like in himself and our relationship. And also I don't care.
Yeah,
So it's just like I'm just here to like um I'm just here for the music and the vibes and that type of thing. And it's like, yeah, I know it's a sausage fest in here and whatever, but it's like my whole life I've always pretty much only had like dude friends, and it's like I never really got along with like the chicks very well. And like I said, I'm so fucking socially awkward. Like there would be girls at my high school and they're trying to like talk to me and I'm like I don't know how to fucking talk to you. I don't what do you mean? So it's like I don't know. It's been easier for me to like, interact with my community and stuff like that. Which is pretty much all boys. So
yeah, yeah. That's
it's
just it.
fine.
Do you have any female followers that you're aware of?
I do. Yes,
Oh, okay, okay.
finally. It took a while. Took a while, but we have at least 3 now, and they're all very active. They're in my Twitch streams, they're in my Discord. One of them is from Finland, I believe, and so she's really into like a lot of black metal and stuff like that. She's very active, and it's just cool to have like other women in the space. So yeah, I don't know. I'm always excited when like women come into my scene because I'm like, yes. But then I also have to tell, my other hornier followers on my Discord, like, okay, like you gotta leave them alone
Yeah,
though. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
so
did you know? So from my experience, whenever you gotten slightly brought up, it seemed like the nastiest comments about you were actually from the two chicks that watch me. Did you notice that? Like, and I'm like, and the
yeah.
one I think I called out. I was like, well, it. I don't remember what she said, but it was something you could tell. I was like, it's extremely obvious that you're just jealous. I was like, there's no other reason why you should be this mad at this person.
Yeah. Well, there's girls women are fucking catty,
Mm,
and they are, they get jealous very easily, and that's just kind of how they are. They like to gossip,
yeah.
and yeah, I'm not surprised in the least. Especially because I think I had one person too that was like, you should give away all of your music or something like that. Like, because I do get a lot of people that send me stuff too.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, and I'm just like, but so why? So that you can have it? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. But yeah, sometimes, I mean, a lot of the hate I get is from men, mostly on like Facebook and Instagram. And they're like, oh my God, it was so funny. I have a bona fide hater on my Instagram. He actually might watch you, which is really funny. Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing so well.
Does he,
So,
well, do you know his
uh,
user ID or whatever? Do you know his name or?
his like yeah like Vinyl World or something like that, and he's a
Okay.
bona fide hater. Like I am telling you, this dude follows me every single day he's up in my DMs, and I've only opened it twice, and it's just been like pure hate, calling me a poser or whatever. But then he will comment on every single one of my reels and like on Instagram. And then like two or three posts ago, he put a meme of you, or like a gif, and it was a picture of you like having some wild face, and it said like poser alert on it. And I was like, God, I really want to tell him that I'm like going to be interviewed by
Oh,
JDawg, because I wonder what
yeah.
his response would be.
So you said this was like 2 days ago?
This was like 2 or 3 posts ago
Okay, because
on
this will
my
go up about, because I have a
Instagram.
pretty big backlog. I just post everything in order. I think this will go up in like 2 weeks. So it
Yeah.
won't be that much. It's not like it won't be that long since he sent, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's just I just have a lot of dudes that just call me like a poser and
But aren't
whatever.
you able
And
to, I don't know about Instagram, but on YouTube you can. Aren't you able to block them, and don't you block them?
I don't care. I don't honestly give a shit anymore. Like I used to, like 2 years ago, like I said, but I've healed since in my mental. I don't read my comments, and I'm so sorry if that upsets any of my my viewers. I do and I don't. So it's hard because it's like I said, some people on the internet are so fucking mean that
Hmm.
they do ruin it for everybody else that do have, actual good things to say. I will say, however, that the most recent comments on YouTube on my deep dives have actually been very positive and very good. And you'll get a couple people that are like, they'll be salty or whatever because of a rating I gave something, but otherwise they've been very positive. So it's mostly on like Instagram and definitely Facebook, where I have a lot of people that are like calling me a poser or whatever. And it's like, how? 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 I'm new. That's nothing new. I'm like, yes, I've never claimed to be an expert, or like, no, I haven't heard of that band before or whatever. So,
But all these people talking shit about you, that doesn't bother Cassidy? Because like for example, like people talking shit about me, I could kind of care less. But if it was a bunch of people talking shit about my wife, I'm not gonna lie, that might actually bother me.
I think it does and it doesn't, because I think he understands that it's like the internet and that's just what they do. And so it's like I don't block it or remove it or anything, because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as bad publicity,
Yeah,
and engagement is engagement. So it's like if you don't like it and you're still liking it, commenting, whatever, I'm still getting paid,
yeah, yeah.
you know. So but at the same time, it's like I want everything that I do on my channel to be authentic and come from like a genuine place. So it's like when I do my deep dives, it's like I spend time with those bands. I try and find everything from interviews, word, like where I'm actually reading what these people have said, their experiences, like all of those things, because I want it to be as genuine as possible. And just like share my honest opinion. And I have very hot takes. I'm kind of known for being somebody with very, very, very hot takes as well. So, but I think
Mhm.
that that's also what makes my channel and your channel unique as well, is because, you know, I don't like a bunch of like yes men that like just jerk off these like top 50 albums or whatever. I like
Yeah,
being able to find people that are like, oh yeah, that legendary album, it's actually like not very good. It's kind of overrated. You know what I mean?
yeah, I do, because it gets old. Yeah, when everyone's just like, you have to like this. Don't get me wrong, it may come off like I think like that off some of my takes because I like Merciful Fate a lot or something. But I was like, that is annoying. I was like, you don't have to like Sodom. Like, you just don't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Well, I the worst album I have listened to this year has been Devin Townsend's The Moth, and I had so many people jerking off that dude and that album,
Who,
and it is
I don't even know who the hell you're talking about.
Devin Townsend. He's the guy from Strapping Young Lad, and now it's like his solo
Oh,
career
phew.
or whatever. Yeah, and don't even
Well,
bother.
that's a
There's
band, to
like
be honest. I know who you're talking about. Once Strapping Young Lad and that other band, Job for a Cowboy, two bands I've never listened to my name. Just because I saw the name, I'm like, I'm not even going to listen to this because the band name's so
yeah.
goddamn dumb.
Oh god, it's bad. Yeah, well, and it's like I love a good troll record. So it's like I will listen to like the hentai grind, like the underground shit with like the burps and the farts and like the anime sex noises, whatever. Like I like that shit because it's fucking funny. But it's a troll record. And now Devin Townsend, it's like over an hour. It's like an hour and 9 minutes, and nothing happens in the record. And there's a chicken clucking, like chicken clucking sound effects in there, and a fart sound effect that like starts off one of the songs. And it was the only album I've ever DNF'd on my Twitch streams. I was like, you know what? I can't get through it. I got through like over half of it, and I was like, I can't.
So is it
Yeah.
supposed to be like grindcore then, or what is it supposed to even be genre wise?
No, it's supposed to be like, I don't even know. It's supposed to be like, it's like kind of got like the Rhapsody of Fire power metal vibes, but it's like super mellow, but then it's kind of acoustic, but then it's kind of like avant-garde. Nothing happens. It is the weirdest. Not a single thing that's noteworthy happens on that album, and it's just not for me.
And people
Just
actually
not
like it
for
though.
me. People like it. Yeah, I have people in my audience that gave it like, one person gave it a 10, another person gave it like an 8 out of 10, and I'm just like, I don't know. I
Oh no,
can't.
I never even heard anything about it.
Yeah. No, my top albums, I mean, Exhumed killed it this year in terms of like releases like that. Oh god. That album is just amazing. And then I really loved Immolation's new album this year. That was really cool. And I was like, of course, 6 months after my deep dive, they released a new album. So then I did Carcass, and I was like, well, they'll probably release a new album now because that seems to be the
Yeah, I don't.
trend.
What is that a good? But that'd be. I would think that'd almost be helpful. Like it'd be like because technically speaking, when an established band puts out a new album, there's more searching behind them. So almost like
There is.
6 months later, like do you notice that like a spike in views? Actually, that I was going to ask you that before when you first said it. When you did your first deep dive, the Cannibal, did your shit spark off really like right away, or was it did it take time?
The reaction that I did, the cannibal
Just the video,
reaction.
or let's just say this: if it didn't spark off right away on the Cannibal reaction, when did it? Because I don't remember. I've seen whatever videos I seen a couple and I saw the stats. I'm like, holy fuck, that's got some views. Like, what was I guess
Yeah.
what was your first video then? If it wasn't Cannibal, where you're like, holy shit, where he's got a fuckload of views.
So Cannibal Corpse was the first video, yeah, that popped off. So it
But
was
that was your
both
first. But you said that was your first video. Well,
well,
so,
it was my first metal video. And so
but the
and I know
platform that
that
you're doing, the channel platform that you're doing metal, basically
yeah,
your first video, it was immediate overnight success.
pretty much. Yeah. I mean it was definitely, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like obviously from like a YouTube standpoint, cuz I'm blessed with the fact that I love metal and I listen to it, but I also love creating content and I love doing stuff on YouTube. So it's like a win-win. But it's like seeing the success of the Cannibal Corpse reaction, it was like, okay, cool. This is obviously what people want to see, and I really enjoyed what we were listening to. So then it's like I was just doing like a metal reaction series, and because I was completely new to it, I I was doing longer reactions. They were like an hour and a half, listening to at least one song off of 5, 6, 8 albums, or whatever, asking a lot of questions. Like people were really enjoying them. One of my most successful videos is where I was doing a reaction to women vocalists in metal, and I had never listened to a woman scream before. And so Courtney LaPlante from Spirit Box, metalcore singer, she was one of the first people that I saw. Like I did a whole reaction to like 5 different women, from like Nightwish, Spirit Box, and it was Courtney's voice. Like hearing her growl in like the song Circle with Me, I was legitimately blown away. That was like, so yeah, you can see my whole metal journey from like start to finish. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, she's just doing it for like YouTube or views or whatever. And it's like,
I hate when
you
people say
know,
that though, because when people say that shit, here's my response: no fucking shit. What do you think we're doing it for? I'm not doing it to not for someone not to watch it. Like at the
yeah,
end of the day, don't be wrong. I
exactly.
understand. Like what they're kind of insinuating, hey, you should have passion for it, etc. It's like, well, I think we already established, like you do and I do.
Yeah.
I was like, but yes, am I making videos to get views? Yes, fuckhead. Why else would I be doing? I'm not doing it to talk to my goddamn wall because essentially that's what I'm. Other than talking to you right now, most of my videos I'm talking to my fucking wall. So when people
Yeah,
say that, it's
exactly.
like I'm really proud of you, Matlock, that you figured that out. You put your Dick Tracy cap on. You put two and two together. I'm really fucking like no shit. What the fuck do you think we're doing it
Yeah.
for?
Mhm. Yeah, and so it's just yeah, I mean, yes, I'm doing it for views, but I also just genuinely like it. And because I'm brand new to metal and literally you can see when my journey started, it is a very vulnerable thing in a way to like put on the internet to show because I feel like a lot of people they don't videotape or at least now I guess now they do, but back then they didn't, they didn't share all of that for millions of people. So yeah, I don't know. It's
But
just
since yours was overnight, like you said, a success, how did? Because I'm curious, because similar to my, how we view things. When you saw videos, it's to be expected, but some are going to do better than others. And let's say you do another deep dive or just any video, but whatever it is, and it's like a flop. Like let's say Cannibal did whatever 100,000 views. You do another video, do 2,000 views. Are you like
yeah.
pissed, or do you not pay attention? Do you not care? Are you just like, oh well, some are going to do good, some are going to do bad? What is your viewpoint of that when you see the stat? I guess the stats behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I had a flop video in between two very successful deep dives, and it was on Camelot. It was like the first three Camelot albums. I got a beautiful box set from I don't remember the label, but yeah, that video Floppiana, that thing is still not even at 1,000 views, and I posted it like 4 or 5 months ago. So, but my whole thing is I went into the deep dives being like I want to just dive into any and all bands, regardless of like the views. However, obviously within like the first like 2 years of me doing it, I need to start from like the more mainstream and the popular stuff just because I have not done it yet. I literally haven't even listened to a lot of that stuff. So it's like when a video flops, it's like it's whatever. A lot of the times it can suck, but as long as I have fun with the band and I feel like I genuinely learned a lot, it doesn't bother me.
So you never got pissed when a video flops.
No.
And what is your, for example, is there a minimum views in your head? If it's like if it gets any less than this, it's a flop. For example, in my mind, for me, just for the average, if a video does less than 3,000 in 24 hours, it's a flop. And quite frankly, that's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
So in your, but
Sometimes
do
it
you have a
just
number? Is it less than 1,000? Or the only reason I came up with that number, the only reason I came up with that number is because there was like 6 months straight to where now there wasn't one video that did less than 3,000. And in the past, like
yeah.
it's weird because like dude, I don't understand this. Again, I tell everyone, dude, when it comes to YouTube, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And granted, part of it's because those assholes are so fucking secretive over there. It's weird. Like,
Yeah.
statistically, if you look at my views, the daily 24-hour views are like less. Like, a lot of videos are hit like 2,200, 2,800, etc., right? As opposed to before, they're kind of hitting like 32, 33. So you figure it dropped off about an average 500 a day. Again,
Yeah.
some over. But what's weird is I don't know what the fuck the Google ad payouts is substantially more than it was a year ago. I'm like, how the fuck do I get less views but I'm making more money? I'm like,
It's just evergreen content. That's what it is. So
what's
you
it?
have more so evergreen content means that you have more people that are watching your backlog of videos, so they may not be watching the ones that you are immediately
So they are
posting.
they're digging that back catalog. I say, watch my
Yeah,
goddamn
they're
back
digging the back
catalog.
catalog. And so that was a huge thing that I had to learn because it's like I tried when I stopped doing reactions because they were a lot of work and B I couldn't monetize those things. So it was like I stopped doing the reactions and then I was trying to figure out how I could do my content and it just wasn't working. So I had a lot of flops and I was like I don't know what I'm doing wrong or whatever. Um and that is the big thing I focus on with the deep dives is I'm like the deep dives are like a great evergreen piece of content just like we were talking about with immolation. It's like post the immolation deep dive, new record comes out, a lot of people will watch that 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know? So, yeah, the evergreen content's a really good thing, I guess.
Is there any
So,
content ideas that you know off the top of your head that theoretically you could do, and you're like, I know that this would get views, but you're just unwilling to do for whatever reason? It could be morally, it could be you're just uncomfortable, it could be
mm,
like, for
not,
example, if you did videos in a sports bra, it'd probably get more views, but you might be like, I don't want that attention. Just giving you an example of shit. You know, I'm just being honest. It probably would.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, I mean, I could full blown like go like the OnlyFans route, and I could make a shit ton of money
I,
doing it,
I,
you
I
know?
didn't want to bring that up, but I'm
So,
kind of like I was wondering if someone like yourself, because me as a guy, no one wants to see me. I'm fucking ugly and old. But like as a young, good looking chick that now you have a fan base,
yeah.
I don't like to ask girls that because it gets a little uncomfortable. Well, since you brought up like, is OnlyFans to you morally wrong or unacceptable? Because here's the things. I've been asked this question off the side, and I'm on the fence. I'm like, here's the thing, dude. I hear some girls and you're like they do it, and you're like they're making like $1,200 a month. I'm like, to kind of in a sense, and I know it's different tiers of what they're doing. I was like, but you're
Yeah.
borderline, even on the low tier, almost whoring yourself out for $1,200. I mean, there's people at McDonald's making more than that. I was like, to me,
Yeah.
no. But you hear some girls that they're making 40, 50, 100 grand a month. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Even if it was my wife, I mean, with the exception of her fucking another dude, I was like, I'd kind of be like, hey, you're doing this
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, because that's some serious moolah.
My opinion on it is OnlyFans is just like any other content platform. So it's just like Patreon or just like YouTube. It's just in the porn industry. So it's like, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
you
agree.
have so
Yeah.
many women that are like, I mean, you have girls that are making over $400,000 a year with their OnlyFans, but you have so many more that are just as you said, they're posting a lot of different things on there and they're not getting anything. The
Yeah,
worst is
correct.
that you have a lot of women that are advertising their shit all over Twitter, subscribe to my OnlyFans or whatever. And it's like those people that are like, follow for follow, like I'll follow your channel if you follow mine or whatever. So it gets very spammy. But just like with YouTube or Twitch or any other content platform, a lot of it does come down to like luck and what you have to offer, So
But you already have, like, for example, yourself, you have a following already.
yeah.
So theoretically, if
Yeah.
you were to start up an OnlyFans, how much you'd make, I don't know, but I would think you'd get a decent amount of signups. But I would assume you'd have some type of limit to what you're willing to do, which because I know there's some girls like in the bodybuilding world, they're not all having sex on camera. Some are just in
Yeah.
this, some are just in panties or whatever, showing their feet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, if you're making 10K plus a month and you're just doing that, I was like, honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I was like, now, yeah, if you're
Yeah.
like dildo banging yourself, I'm like, yeah, that's getting a little.
Yeah.
I could see where it's like, yeah,
I mean, I could, yes, if I started an OnlyFans, I would definitely have an audience of people that would be into that.
plus this weird old metal scene. These it's like a full 40-year-old virgins.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just like, I do and don't have the confidence, I think, to be in that industry. But
Yeah,
also, it's like, I think because the thing is like I think about my grandmother in that situation, and I'm
yeah.
like, do I want her to know about? Do I want her to know about that? So instead, what I do is I just look cute in my Instagram reels, and
Yeah.
I love to like blow kisses and like wear pink and do all that shit because I know it pisses some of these like neck beards off, and I'm like, yeah,
Vault,
I'm a cute.
I call them the Cabal tough guys.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, a cute girl who loves pink listens to your favorite gore grind band, and I probably have all of their records on vinyl. So,
I'll be honest, because people have my take. I love it because I'm like, dude, I'm fucking married. I've been in this shit since I was 10 years old, so 30 goddamn 1 years. I was like, I do this for a living. I'm around it. It's like I'm literally around a sausage fest. I'm an old guy. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I don't give a fuck who's a poser, who's not a fucking poser. So the way I see it, dude, I was like, I'd rather see some eye candy in the scene than a bunch of fucking sausages. So I was like, when good looking girls come to the scene, I was like, I welcome it that at this point because I was like, I'm just so sick of being around a bunch of fucking dudes that, are, quite frankly, a lot of them are just weirdos anyways. And but I
Yeah.
get it. The young me kind of like I might be that guy. Like I wouldn't. I know me as a youngin, I wouldn't hate on you, but I might be like, come on, dude, she don't listen to incantation. But
Yeah.
41-year-old Justin's like, I don't give a fuck if she does or doesn't. Like I
Yeah.
really don't give a fuck.
Well, and I know that, and I know I'm very self-aware in terms of like how I look on camera. So it's like I know I don't look like a typical metalhead or whatever. Like I don't wear the goth makeup or whatever. So it's like I get it. And yeah, I have a lot of people that are like, no, she doesn't actually listen to that or whatever.
You know what's
But
fucking
it's like,
hysterical though? I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I know this for 100% fact. What you're describing, like what you would see some of the girls, they look like they're the biggest, hugest fucking metalhead fan you've ever met just by the makeup and they're wearing bullet belts and shit like that. I'm talking about like a Maryland Death Fest, etc. Just leave it at that. Events like that. That I know for
yeah,
100% fact, 100% fact that you've actually physically listened to and heard more than they have.
yeah. Well, you know what was interesting is I went into a Hot Topic recently and I never shopped at Hot Topic and I haven't been in for like at least 10 years. So it's like I go in there and it's like, Sleep Token merch and like all of these like Cannibal Corpse and all this like Y2K fashion. And then you have all of these like girls, they're younger than me. They're like 18,
Mhm.
and they're wearing all of this shit. And I'm just like, I bet you haven't even
Yeah,
checked
1,000%.
out that album, and I'm like, but
1,000%.
here you are wearing it, and then those girls are, and guys are all over TikTok and whatever. So that's also very interesting as well, too, is to be somebody that's in this scene and a fan of this music. And
See, you're kind
yeah,
of, it's rubbing off you. You're kind of being the gatekeeper. You're seeing yourself like you're seeing the 18 year like, come on, dude, I know you haven't heard fucking Venom or
yeah,
whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Well, it's
it just, again, and I remind part of a lot of what I do for my channel, I don't force it. It just comes out naturally. I give my 16 to 19-year-old opinions. That's where all the poser talk comes from. Because nowadays
yeah,
I'm just so, no, I just don't, I'm in my, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But I know that would be kind of boring, like just saying you don't care about everything. But
Mm-hmm.
it does if you see it. Again, when people asked, "Hey, do you think Kanye West listens to Burzum? He's wearing a shirt." I'm like, "Look, I'm not judging the guy. I don't give a fuck if he does or doesn't. But if you want my honest answer, gun to my dick, I'm gonna say I doubt he does. I
Yeah,
could be wrong, but
yeah.
I'm guessing he don't. When I walk in a hot topic and I see an 18-year-old chick who's duped out, you would think she's fucking Satan's wife. Do you think she's ever heard Venom? Welcome to Hell? Don't know for sure, but if I had to make an educated guess, I'm going to guess no.
Yeah. It's definitely a very we have like an aesthetics trend problem, but it's also like you have a lot of people that are getting into it and then you have the aesthetics trend. So and that's a lot. My theory is it's a lot to do with TikTok specifically. I mentioned this briefly with my Mortician deep dive of how one of their songs got really popular like on TikTok in like 2023. And so you had so many teenagers making, workout videos and whatever. They're wearing like the full goth like clothes and everything. And it's like, that's a one song. You haven't even checked out the rest of the record,
Oh, that shit started taking place. You got to remember, you're talking about a Tish diehard. I mean,
Yeah.
I first heard the Tish when I was fucking 12, and
Yeah.
I saw them when I was 14, 1999. I've been a huge fan. You know, we put out every single album on vinyl before Relapse Poser Ass Records did. So huge fan, right? And but back in the day, I told my channel nobody liked that band. Like nobody. Like it
Yeah.
was rare to meet someone that liked them. And back then, they people kind of made fun of them. They're like, that band sucks. Like they got a drum machine, they got no guitar solos, or they bitch about the intros. They're like, dude, they have more fucking movie intros than they do songs. That was like, it was rare to find a person that liked them. And now all these fucking poser twink talkers come in like, I love Mortician. I'm like, dude, I'm ready to Cobra fucking Sylvester Stallone that goddamn shirt right off your body because I know
Yeah.
goddamn well you don't listen to that fucking band. Like I'm ten thousand
Yeah.
percent positive you don't.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with the compilation record that didn't have any of the samples because I was like, why would I want to listen to that? I just want to listen to Mortician with the samples
You
because
know why
that's
I love that record? that the final bloodbath, which we need to do, we did that on vinyl as well, which we need to do a repress, and that's a whole other goddamn story. Um, the reason I like that is because you get the songs with a real drummer. So Roger plays
Yeah.
drums on it. Granted, the triggers sound like shit, but nonetheless, it's a real drummer. And to me, it's a Mortician. What was it called? Challenge round, kind of like, especially if you
Yeah.
put it on shuffle. How many songs can you identify? Don't get me wrong, I can't
Yes.
identify them all myself, but it's kind of cool because it's all the same sound as opposed to studio sound of each album, and there's no intro. So
Yeah.
it's like we're going to see how well you know these songs and you don't. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Don't get me
Well,
wrong, I
maybe I'll
can't get
check
them
it
all
out.
either. I can't get them all right either, and it's part of it.
Yeah,
Part of it is because they have so many songs, and the
they
songs have you
do.
got bloodshed, you got fucking bloodbath, final blood. Like a lot of them are kind of similar, as blood and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely songs I can identify. Like it'd be
Yeah.
Chainsaws, Remember, Zombie Apocalypse, Rabid, Necro Cannibal, Blood Craving. I mean, I could definitely identify songs, but
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a person on this earth that would be able to identify every Mortician song within a 90% accuracy on shuffle. I'd be shocked if there's one person that could do that.
Yeah, because they are very similar,
Yeah.
but they're
Or-
damn good. Yeah, the Mortal Massacre, the Red Rum outro that they have on there is just like, oh my God, I was
But
shaking
you
my
realize
ass
that Mortal
listening to
Massacre,
that.
that's a real drummer on that. Did you know that?
Oh, I did not. I thought it
Yeah.
was a
No,
drum
that
machine.
no, that guy it was it him? I think it was him. Is that the guy that died because he walked into a river? One of
Oh
the guys.
wait, no, that was yeah, because they had I don't remember his name, but no, they had a real drummer and then he died in like
Yeah,
96 or something like that.
the demo also under brutally
That's right.
mutilated picture disc. That's 1990.
That's
And then
right.
there's the Mortal Massacre 7-inch. Those are the two recordings that had a real drummer. And then House by the Cemetery, they call it an EP. I call it a full length. It's the same goddamn time length as Slayer, Rain and Blood. How the fuck's it not full length?
Yeah.
That's the first studio recording that Roger came into the band, and he plays
Yeah.
guitar and he does the drum programming. But
Yeah.
prior, I forget what is it?
Yeah.
Is it John or something? I forget the original name, drummer's name. But it is a drummer, and the story I've actually heard it. And I think Will told me in person. It was like, the fuck, how much drugs was this guy on? He walked into a river and drowned. Like he walked
Wasn't he
into it.
like he wasn't he like stoned or something? He's like,
It was something. I'm like,
yeah.
how do you drown when you're like, you just walk? I just picture him walking in a creek, and like, even if you fell, like, you're not an 85-year-old grandpa that can with a cane. Like, what do you mean? Like, how the fuck did you drown? He wasn't thrown in the middle of an ocean, like,
Oh my
man
God.
overboard. You know what I mean? No, it's like a lake.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I think the coolest part of that Mortician deep dive was finding out that it was Will first with Mortician and
Yeah,
then he met Roger later.
yeah,
And that was really cool.
yeah.
So,
Big Willie Romer. It's technically his band.
yeah.
That's why when he doesn't make it to a show these days, it's kind of like, fuck. If I never saw them, that was the case, because that's, I don't want to say too much, but there's been shows he couldn't make it to, and the show's going on. You find out day of. I was like, that's like going to see
Yeah.
Merciful Fate and there's no King Diamond. I was like, if I've never seen Mortician, I was like, and there's no Will, I'm like, well, he's the guy. Like, I'd be like bummed. I was like, I
Yeah.
want a refund. What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, I really want to see, yeah, Mortician live. I would love to see King Diamond live too, but definitely what's left on my list is Mortician, Deicide, and Dying Fetus
I
for
still
sure.
can't believe you haven't seen Dying Fetus, even in the last couple of years, because they're doing those tours since Banished by Sin. They did like 2 tours now.
I know, and they go everywhere else, but Oklahoma is when, I was really going to a
No,
lot
but what
more
about even this past
shows.
one? They just did this because I did a second interview. I did with Glenn and Steve together. So I did Glenn and Steve individually interview, what, a year or 2 years ago, whatever, and then just last month or whatever, it went up a couple weeks ago. It's them together. It's the only video of them together.
Yeah.
We shot on the bus, but they did. It was with that Behemoth tour, Ronnie Christ. They didn't come near you guys. It was a pretty big tour. This was just like 2 months ago.
I think we tried. So I think we tried to go because I think they were coming to Sacramento and that was in like April. Oh, you know what it fucking was? I think it was April, I
Yeah,
think.
this is recent. Yeah, yeah. Last 2 3 months. Yeah,
So
April-ish. Yeah,
we
maybe.
so we knew that it was right before the Exhume show. Oh, you're gonna laugh at this, okay? So it was like we knew we were gonna go to the Exhume show. They were like, okay, well, we're gonna try and make it to see, Dying Fetus or whatever in April. We had booked the hotel. The day before we leave for Exhumed, my dog, my bloodhound, love her. She got a fucking butt abscess out of nowhere. And it was like I had to take her to the vet, and she had to be like full blown, like put under, drained everything. It was like $700 something. And then I was like, okay, well, there's the budget for
Yeah, yeah. No, I've
like
been there.
going to shows. So
I've
yeah,
been
so
there
we were
with
like,
vet
all
bills and
right.
shit popping up at the last minute, so I get that.
And it was like the day before the Exhumed show. So we were at least still able to make it to Exhumed. But, you know, I mean, we live out in buttfuck nowhere. Like literally Sacramento's 2.5 hours away just to get there. So it's like, you know, you factor in gas, like the hotel, also want to have money for merch and whatever. So it's like, it's just a lot. And we were like, all right, well, we're not going to be able to make it to the show in April. So, especially with work too, because I think that show was like on like a Tuesday maybe or something like that. Like I don't think it was a weekend show.
What
So,
do you say works? You're doing this like what the sheep got to eat at a certain time, or what's going on? Like,
oh no, Cass.
okay,
Cass has to take he has to take time. Girl, I can take time off whenever I want. But
yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, because in a sense, you're kind of self-employed at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am my own boss and I can take on
Because for example,
time anytime.
I'm in the middle. I'm like you slash Cassidy. So like if a show's on a weeknight, it yes, I'm my own boss, but my position, which is supposedly the easiest position on my three brothers, I got Chase. I got the shittiest position. How do you figure, dude? You work at home and start whenever you want. A lot of
Yeah.
my position, other people are relying on me for their lists. Meaning, if I show up late, they're just standing around with their thumb up their ass. So
Yeah.
it's like, do I have to punch a clock? No. But at the same time, I do. Otherwise, I'm paying people that are standing there with their thumb up their ass, and they're standing there with their thumb up
Yeah.
their ass. So it's
Oh
like I'm
God.
in the middle. It's like, yeah, technically I can come in whenever I want, but do I want to just pay people to stand there for 2 hours doing nothing? Not really.
Yeah. Not really. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, it's
Employees to worry about.
it's the worst goddamn part of a business. Not that, and
Yeah.
I like some of our employees. It's not even that. It's just dealing with the you just got other people to think about it and overhead. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just keeping them busy or just tasks and just. I just miss the days when it was just the three of us and we each just our own department and they just did your own shit. You know what I mean? You didn't have to answer to nothing or nobody. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have employees, but I would love to have like an editor to help me because it's like the deep dives, they take such a long time. Especially like the editing too. But yeah, I would love to have somebody
So
help me
you
with
agree
that.
that editing part's the worst, right?
I used to really enjoy it, but now it's the most tedious, you know?
Because my videos, as
Um,
you know or don't know, I don't edit my stuff. And
yeah.
part of the reason is big part was I didn't know how to do it. Now, in recent times, a year ago or so, I did get some software and shit, like the freebie crap, and I looked at it. Within 15 minutes, I was so goddamn annoyed. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not, I was like, I was like, I don't want to sign up. I was like, I just don't want to do this. You know, it's kind of like a job. Like, let's say you're gonna go get hired somewhere and they show you around. You're like, look, dude, this just isn't for me. I don't want to do this. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I can't figure it out. I'm just saying I don't physically want to do this.
It's very time consuming. A lot of people don't realize how much time it goes into just one of those deep dives. Like, it'll be a month since I posted Incantation in like 3 days at the time that we're filming this. And so it's like, I'm hoping to have my Black Sabbath deep dive done next week. But yeah, sometimes it'll take me 6 weeks to finish a deep dive. It'll take me 12 to 15 hours to edit one
Yeah,
video.
see, that's
And
fucking
that's
insane.
Yeah, and it's not including like any of the research or the listening time.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath has like 19 albums. So it's like, you know, while I was working on Incantation, I was listening to Black Sabbath and getting those
Well,
albums
like
done.
you said for the whatever was. So when you're spending that much time in a video, you get one that flops. You're easier going than I would. I'd be pissed. I'm like, I spent 25 hours and I was like, and it got 1,000. That pissed me off. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I think what really helps too, and I didn't used to do this, is that I advertise a lot on my other social media platforms. So it's like when I post, like Incantation, for example, I posted that. It's like I'll have three other kind of promo posts that I'll do for like TikTok and Instagram. So I'll show off the vinyl, I'll go through my tier list, and I'll do like a top 5 facts that I learned about like Incantation or whatever. So that kind of helps to boost the video, and that's a big reason why I took TikTok more seriously is because so many trends, whether we like it or not, so many trends happen on TikTok specifically. And that's where a lot of people get their news now and whatever. So it's like I use TikTok and Twitter and Instagram to really like boost my views on my videos, on my deep dives, to help just prevent the floppage.
No,
So
I mean, I'm in all honesty, like someone like because I've always said that the Instagram I need to take over, the Twinkie talk, all that fucking shit I need to get on. But I would much rather just whatever I have to do, hit record and pay someone like you to just do everything. You post it, you
yeah.
edit it. I don't even want to see the shit. I was like, I just want to be the Krusty the Clown. They hit record, I talk, they hit stop. You ever see that Simpsons episode? He walks in.
Mm-mm.
Lisa Simpson,
No.
she's trying to do her take. She's in the audio room. She's all stuttering shit. Krusty walks in. Hey, yo, blah, blah. Look, he's out of the car. And the producer guy's like, yeah, Krusty, we're ready for you. As his car's peeling down the road. Because he thought, I just go in there, I talk. You better have that record hitting, buddy. That's all I want to do. Because I don't want to
Yeah.
manage that shit, but I know for business is that would help. The only reason I never hit up somebody seriously, honestly, someone like yourself, someone that I know that at least has done, I want someone that comes off as reliable to me and someone that's done it. I don't want them to be book
Yeah.
smart on the topic. I want someone that's physically done it because I
Well,
believe
and
in,
I want somebody that knows metal or at least somewhat of metal as well, you know? So if they're
yes,
going to
we
edit
can
my
be
videos,
we could be the perfect combo. My only concern, the reason I never hit anybody up to do it, because some people kind of like I can help with Instagram, is because I feel like it's still going to produce a lot of work for me. Again, I was like, dude, you understand? I want to be the content. That's it. I was like, how difficult is it even going to be for me to get you the goddamn video to edit? Because I have a feeling even that's going to be a process. Because the way things go for me is everything's a fucking chore and it shouldn't be. It turns into, you
yeah,
know what I mean?
I
Because the last thing I have time for, I don't need time for another basically part-time job. I was like,
yeah,
I wouldn't mind recording more content or having it spliced up of what I recorded for other platforms. I was like, but I do
yeah.
not want any of the physical shit. But am I fully aware that it would benefit business? Yes, but I don't have time for the other part-time job. So if I could get it to where I'm just the goddamn, I hit the record and that's it, and the other person does all the other shit, the back end, and I literally pay them, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely makes life a lot easier, you know, because it's like, yeah, I do everything. So it's like I'll, plan out my whole week worth of content, film it, edit it, everything. But I've also gotten very good about finding, because I'm cheap. So I have found so many great free sites to like help me with my content in terms of like, encoding footage from an MVK file to an MP4 or whatever. And also, editing. I have like DaVinci Resolve, which is a fantastic video editor that's free. So there are ways to go about it, but it's just time consuming. That's the
Yeah.
big thing, you know.
But I would
So
think, see, but with you, like, I would almost think like you would be posting more videos, maybe even not deep dives, just like kind of like, again, social media, just getting your brand because you basically self admitted, like, this is kind of like your main, this is your income. So if this was
yeah.
like my main thing, like, if this is all I was doing, me personally, I'd be like balls deep in this shit.
I know. I think again, I'm like my own worst critic because I had tried so many different things to like, get my views back up from when they were like kind of flopping. I took a break. Now I'm doing the deep dives and um I just didn't know what I wanted to do outside of like the deep dives and I wanted to have like better quality content. I've thought about doing more like list videos or like, unboxings or stuff like that, but I'm just not sure how well they would do or if people would be interested. But then
But do you
also
think
for
that, do you think
me,
this though? But do you think like yourself? Because if you notice, well, you don't really watch my shit, but you've seen it like you don't, it doesn't have to be metal related. Like you could do other stuff that's in your life, but you're just posting on your channel because if you're to sit through a lot of my videos, a lot of it, I'm not even talking about metal at all. I kind of just talk about whatever comes up. And
yeah.
if you think about it, like whoever you follow, let's just say it's metal scene, not scene. Let's just say someone you're like, Hannah Montana, right? Yeah, let's say Hannah Montana. You're a fan of Hannah Montana. If she wasn't doing anything based off her quote unquote art, you as a
Mhm.
fan, wouldn't you be kind of curious? Like if she used to go into McDonald's and she used to show her order, if you're a diehard fan, would you not be? I'm not like that. Would you or would you not? Maybe you would.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would,
So if they're
but
your
that's
fans, like you got to put yourself in their shoes. Like why wouldn't they?
yeah.
Because if you look at some
Yeah.
of my videos with me in the office, where it's got some of my best views, or people put in the comments, I'm not even talking about metal. Usually it's I'm in a bad mood talking about something. And there was a time I'd even want to shoot a video. And that's why even if I was in a bad day or busy, I still shoot because those turned out to be some of my best ones. And I was like, ah, there's no way I can shoot
Yeah.
today. And I'm like, I think just because it comes off as super organic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's other stuff that I do like on my Twitch. So I do gaming on there. So I do have people that want to see other things from me. I mostly do that like on my Patreon or on my Twitch. So I my hope is that within the next couple years I can do a book channel cuz I like to read. So I like to read a lot of horror and stuff like that. And then also like gaming, but I would like to do more stuff on movies and stuff like that as well. So I don't know. I have ideas for what I would like to do for my metal channel, but I
Why
don't
did
know.
you were doing lives there like every week for a while, but you don't
Every
do lives,
Monday, yeah.
so you don't do lives like at all anymore.
On YouTube I do not. I do it on Twitch.
Now, what's the
So
reason? What's the reason? Is there a reason behind that?
So on Twitch, I do a lot of reaction content. So now it's kind of like where my reactions are. We just listen to a fuck ton of metal. We listen to so much music. Like on average, between my Twitch and my Patreon, I listen to at least 40 records a month. So it's like I'm listening to so much music on there. And the reason why I switched to Twitch, I like the interface better. It's just more interactive and more intuitive. And that's like what that platform was built for. Whereas like YouTube streaming is just a little clunky. There's a lot of very successful YouTubers, but their copyright is the big thing. That's like huge. So yeah, it's just and they're
But
very
does Twitch is Twitch monetized or no?
yeah, Twitch is monetized.
Okay,
So
and you can put music
um
on there and it's still monetizable.
yeah, so I have it split so the audio's not in like the VODs when I'm done streaming. So it's almost like a radio show type thing or like I'm a DJ type deal. That's what I do on there and it's been doing really good view wise. It's been growing a lot and I've just had um yeah, a lot of music we've been doing. So on Wednesdays, especially, we do with a discography dive. So we'll usually dive into 2 to 3 bands. So every week we'll do like one album from a
What is it?
band. So
I'm gonna be. I don't even know what the fuck Twitch is. Is it just twitch.com? Is that what it is?
yeah, hmm
Let me take a look at this shit. Do you
it
have to
should be
have like an
Twitch.
account? Do you have to have like an account like Instagram to look at everything? Because for example, like on YouTube, you can watch videos and not have an account. Holy shit, I'm already confused looking at this. What am I in a goddamn? I feel like I'm in a one of the editing programs looking at this crap.
Yeah, so
But what
it's
are
all
you just Kaiya? What is Imakaiya?
is Imakaiya, yeah. And it's on there. And I stream 3 days a week. Sometimes we'll do a bonus gaming stream. But Mondays we do like metal
Oh no, I
roulette.
can. So look, it looks like I might be able to watch this with no
Yeah,
account.
you will have ads if I don't think you need to have a Twitch account to watch.
Yeah,
But there will be ads
what's
unless you
this?
subscribe.
Yeah, what's this gay ass ad shit I got to sit through? Expect me to sit through this bullshit? Because I got the ad blocker on my YouTube.
Yes.
I pay for that. Ain't no way I'm sitting to that
Yeah, I do
bullshit every
too.
day. Oh, you do too? Got the
Yeah,
paid up? You got the paid
the
thing?
premium or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm getting a mighty fine looking Burger King ad.
But yeah, so I stream on there. And then Fridays we do a listening party. So my viewers like submit metal songs, and every Friday we have a different theme. So like this last Friday we did title tracks. Next week the theme is like forests. So pick a metal song from an album with like a forest or woods on the cover or whatever. And it's a great way for me to like we listen to a lot of underground shit. But it's a great way for me to discover new bands.
But so okay, so this Twitch, like, this is actually looking like I might be able to get down with this shit. is
Oh,
because it looks like,
you would
well,
probably
just
be
because
very
it,
successful in
well,
there.
this to me looks like YouTube. I'll be honest, like Instagram to me, I don't understand it. Now, I'm not saying I don't understand like to use the platform. I didn't dig that. I don't understand like what the fuck is the point? Because if you're
Yeah.
not watching like a full video or something, people are like, hey, I posted a picture of me in Burger King. I'm like, why the fuck would anyone like why? Like, I don't understand. Like that to me is completely
Yeah.
useless junk. So Instagram to me, I can't wrap my head why any human being would even want the goddamn thing. This is videos. This makes sense. I'm looking at your shit.
Yeah.
Like
So
this.
it's all live stream.
But how is this any different than YouTube? This just looks like YouTube to me, which is great, another platform. But I'm saying like this
Yeah.
is what I'm already doing. Hell, what I should be doing is posting all my goddamn videos on this stupid ass platform too. The same videos.
So Twitch is all live streaming. So they
Oh, only
don't
live. Okay.
do, yeah, so it's all lives, and then all the VODs that you're seeing, those are my old live streams, which are still like monetized. You can also take your VODs off, and you can record your live streams and post them somewhere else if you want. But yeah, Twitch is a great platform and it's owned by Amazon. So if you have any subscribers that pay for like Amazon Prime or whatever, then they get a Prime, what's called like a Prime sub. So they can just use that to sub to your channel, and then they don't get ads on your videos. But Amazon basically pays you for that sub, which is nice.
How long have you been doing Twitch?
Almost 3 years, two and a
Now,
half.
it says you have 1.4K followers, which is substantially less than what you have on YouTube. My question
Mm-hmm.
is it that hard? Is it that more difficult to gain followers, or is it just because there's a bunch of old guys like me that just don't know about this platform? Because there's very substantially
So
less people on there.
No, there's a ton of people on there. Um, Honestly, the reason why my followers are low on there is because I did not advertise that I was streaming on Twitch for such a long time until like recently. So a lot of it is because I hindered my own growth.
But
And it took
advertised
me a
where? You talking
while
about like you mean like shout it out on YouTube, like
on
hey, I'm
like
on Twitch?
Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, like I really did not. Well, because I took that 6 month break, and then even before that, I wasn't really talking about it too much. So I hindered my own growth in that way. But also, when it comes to metal, what you mostly have on Twitch is guitar players playing guitar, and people will submit requests, and then they'll just play it. And so I don't know if there's any other women metalheads on there. There are a few that do like reaction content and stuff like I do. Specifically, I know one, Elraiser, but it's like there's not a lot of like us out on there. So
Do you think then as a business owner, do you think I should be on Twitch? And again, I'm only interested. I don't need my feelings hurt. I'm in it. Like if you, my answer, yes or no, is yes, you should be if you think it's beneficial to business. To me, if it's not beneficial for business, then your answer should be absolutely not. Do not waste your time. What me asking you?
I would
What do you think?
say, knowing how you are with technology and stuff, I would say your best bet is to stick with YouTube and do YouTube streaming, since that's where a huge part of your audience is.
Hmm.
If you want to do live streaming, because I think live streaming on YouTube is probably going to be easier. Twitch, it's like, yes, you can stream, I think, within the platform, but it's like I use OBS, so it's a little complicated, a little bit of a learning curve. So, you could try it. You could absolutely try
Because I'm
Twitch.
not gonna lie. As a matter
But
of fact, I'm you know what's so funny is like I'm terrible with the lives on YouTube. Although like I've been saying for about 5 weeks straight now, oh, I'm doing a live this week. I'm doing. I'm like the night I'm fuck this. I'm not doing that. I don't feel like it. I'm pretty certain I might do one tonight. The only reason I might not is because Lindsay's not feeling good.
yeah,
So she usually sits in on it just because. I mean, what's she gonna do? Just sit in the other fucking room? That's kind of weird. But so depending if she's like absolutely not, fuck that, I still might uh because I need to make an announcement on my fest and shit. And
yeah,
so I might do a live because I would be doing lives every week on YouTube if it's again I'm just be I'm not gonna lie, when those super chats, when those were like raining in, I'm like, well fuck. I was like, if it stays like this, I'll do this shit every week. But it's like that, it's
yeah,
not always like that. There's times there's like barely any. Now again, so the guy wants to come in. So what you mean? You're only gonna do it for money? I'm like, dude, if I'm doing it on a Friday or Saturday night that I could be laying in bed with my cats and my wife, which I'd much rather be doing, than sitting up here
Yeah.
talking to myself on a camera. Yes, I'm sorry, it's got to be for monetary gain. I'm like, if you don't understand that, well, I don't know what to tell you. That mommy dropped you on your head. I don't know why that would need explaining. So
Yeah.
there was a huge part of me that wanted to do them all the time. But so you doing them on Twitch, was it paying more money than YouTube? Because YouTube could be
It
like,
was.
like, but how is it super chat? Is it like how?
So I get paid more with like the subscriptions. So YouTube, you get paid with the memberships and the super chats. Well, I didn't get very many of those when I streamed, so I was just getting paid mostly with the ad revenue. And then for Twitch, it's like I get way more subs on there. Those are paying subscribers. I also get paid for the views with the ads. So I do make more money on YouTube or on Twitch than I did for my YouTube live streams. So, um,
Because theoretically, if you're really smart with this shit, which I'm not, but if you were, you could technically live stream on both at the same time, right?
and I did for a while. But I only streamed, so that's called dual streaming. So I did dual stream my Metal Monday streams on both Twitch and YouTube, which at the time Twitch had a rule where you were not allowed to do that. So and then they changed it. So now they've completely changed it to where you can dual stream and that's okay. But it was a part of their TOS where it's like if they found out that you were streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, they would like yeet your account. Um, but it's the fact that I listened to a lot of music on there, and then I also hated that anytime I ever played a game on YouTube, it would flag it as inappropriate. For example, Red Dead Redemption 2, it's like, yes, I get it. I'm like shooting people as a cowboy, but like it would flag it with like the yellow dollar sign and everything, and that shit can hurt your channel eventually, and it's just YouTube's automated system too is just absolutely so finicky and tedious, and it's like, yeah. I don't know.
Have you ever gotten on YouTube quote unquote flagged, like where they emailed you and flagged your shit?
I have not. The biggest issue I ever had was when I posted my Cannibal Corpse deep dive, the first part with about Chris Barnes. So I have two parts, one on Chris Barnes, one on Corpse Grinder. And then the 6 feet under deep dive. So I did both of those around the same time, and they were flagged mostly because of language. Because I said, AC's official name, the whole thing, and so it flagged it. Didn't like that, um, and the thing is like if you don't this, but for anybody watching, it's like when you post videos, you have to fill out the whole thing of like, no, it doesn't contain, politics or gore or whatever, so that their bot can trust your score. Well, if you get any videos flagged, then your score drops to where the channel will then have to go based on what their automated bot says. So I had a huge issue where I had like the two or three strikes because of the 6 feet under video, and then the Cannibal Corpse part 1 deep dive, to where I had to be trusted with that bot for them to clear my channel and be like, oh
I,
yeah, we can run ads on there,
all this back end shit that I don't understand that you do. I'm curious how much I'm literally just fucking myself in the ass. You said something once. Somebody sent me the screenshot, and I started laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh, she's 100% right. And
Yeah.
actually, I think you kind of helped me out because I think that's when I found out because I changed it slightly after. I think that's the reason, or maybe there was a combination of you calling this out and then somebody else said, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. But anyway, somebody said something about me and monetization and shit, and you commented on it. You said, like, I guarantee you, if he looks at his back end, he looks at his ad revenue and all says limited, limited, limited. Every fucking one of them does. Like literally, it's down the line, all yellow, limited, limited. And now, so I told you, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, but yeah, I just figured because the way I talk or whatever. And I think it was in combination with somebody else, like another YouTuber that has nothing to do with metal, is if you, I don't know if it's 30 seconds, 60 seconds, that if you don't swear within the first 30 to 60, that you get
Yeah.
more ad revenue. And as soon as I stopped, like, I don't know if people picked up on this, is I say, yeah, J-Dog back with another goddamn video. First words, goddamn. As soon as I cut that out, all my shit went up like green.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, this is great. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I was like, I'm a fucking dumb fuck. I was like, I was screwing myself for 4 years straight because I just didn't know. But you bringing up this bot crap because all this shit, like you're saying, you got to select. I'm not even reading that crap. I just hit next, 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 next. I just select all they want and then sit in here. Yes, 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 yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not. What do you expect me
Hmm.
to listen back and check your rules and read your Japanese diagram? I was like, I'm not doing all this bullshit. I was like,
Yeah.
just upload the fucking thing. You figure it out. But I wonder if I'm getting screwed on the back end just because I don't understand the fine print.
Yeah. The biggest thing I can give you a suggestion on, that has hurt me with videos is some of the album covers that I show specifically. And it's so fucking hard because metal is metal, right? So the artwork is supposed to be the way it is, but YouTube doesn't understand that. So I have shown covers before and they've gotten flagged and my video has gotten the limited for gore or whatever. So it's like if something is like really gory or whatever or has like big ass titties or something, like some woman who's like unloading her flaps, just like briefly show it or don't show it at
Well,
all.
it's funny on that too.
Um,
Like, yeah, I actually learned a few things on this whole game from you. I learned that too. Don't show covers, but you know what's super fucking weird? It was a combination. I heard you say that. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't know because I show covers sometimes. But it was also another YouTuber, I think that Adam Schnellback or something. He showed a cover of something that I showed, and his whole channel got yanked down. And
oh my
he
God.
hit me up. He's like, "How did you show that cover?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they reminded me of what you said. I was like, "Oh, because when I put two and two together, I was like, I stopped doing that." I was like, "Because I didn't
Hmm.
know." I was like, "But why did his channel literally get taken down?" And my video didn't even get flagged. It's still up. I don't remember. It was Mortal Decay or something with the tits, or it was one
Yeah.
of them. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if it's just the AI doesn't catch it or what. I was like, but yeah, I was like, my video's still there.
That's where the finicky is because it's not everybody, and it's the same thing with the copyright. I mean, you'll have people who will react to a song and it doesn't get copyrighted. I could react to that same song and it gets blocked, or it gets copyrighted, or they do it with covers now too. It's like, I did a cover to Bonnie Ray's song. This was a while ago for like a short, and it got copyrighted as a cover or as like some sort of like live performance of hers or something. But then you'll also have fake copyright claims. So you'll have people that will go and they'll be like, "Oh, you're using my song or you're using this." So you also have to check that too. It's just, yeah, their whole bot and everything is very, very finicky, but filling out that little thing of like, does your video contain any of these things? And you just scroll down and you hit none of the above. That helps because if you can have your channel, if you can have the YouTube's bot trust your rating with your videos, that helps so that you can
Well, there's no way.
bypass.
Fuck, they trust my ass because I wasn't, but I wasn't even trying to jip them. I just like, there's no way I'm reading
Yeah.
all this shit. So I just agreed to
Yeah.
everything, and I've done that every put it this way, every single video I posted from day one to today. That's I just agreed to everything.
Yeah.
So they had, dude, this guy's full of fucking shit. Like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
But there's no way of me
Yeah.
fixing on the back end then now at this point in 5 years in.
Other than just yeah, I mean as long as your monetization is still green, it should be fine.
They're mostly green now. Like I could tell you, like I got my back end shit open here. Is
Cuz
I
it's
do
going to flag like language and imagery is a big one.
I have so the back end, the YouTube studio, whatever, and there's
Mhm.
so of 30 videos uploaded that includes all the way up till I've uploaded till June 25th. So this video will go
Yeah.
up June 26th. So this will go up in 13 days. Well, what day are we on? Yeah, we're on 13. This will go up in 13 days.
13.
So June 25th till May 27th, that's my views of that I can look at, the videos. And
Mhm.
they're all green except one's yellow. I got two yellows.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
Did
that's a
they
two.
say what the reason was for the two yellows? Cuz it should tell you.
Well, the uh, the ones on Monday, because I don't know if you know this or not, is Mondays I do as members only videos,
Okay.
and they're
No,
a
I
little
didn't
bit
know that.
they're a little bit me getting a little more zesty,
Rowdy.
yeah, a little more rowdy. So let's just say a lot of the Mondays are in yellow, so I can make. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I can make a few educated guesses. Plus, when I
Yeah.
see the Monday upload gets uploaded and it's limited, I'm like, I'm not the least bit surprised. I kind of expected that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
now it should be good. Like their system's better because it like highlights or it should highlight areas in your video that you did something wrong or that their bot felt like you did wrong, especially if it's ad limited for language or whatever. But I'm not sure if they do it all the time.
yeah. What you
So,
should, yeah. Then the offers there, whatever. You ever come down to the fucking Dead by Dog Fest? You come to Open Warehouse. You should just, if you do, vlog it because look him up. Okay, give him a shout out. Robert Green. He watches all my. He probably watches your shit too, but he watches all my videos, right? He came out last year from Florida, and he vlogged just him walking around the warehouse, our open warehouse. And
mhm.
I don't remember what he said, but it was like his video was like over 30,000 views, like just him in the warehouse and flipped people. But I mean, keep in mind, he has no channel basically. It's just him like
Yeah.
he doesn't do a channel more or less, but he kind of does now post then. So basically, zero subscribers prior to this, and he got that. If you did that, holy fuck! I mean, I could see that being 100K.
Oh yeah.
Just
I mean,
food
I
for
would
thought.
yeah, we really wanted to come and visit you for that Dead by Dog Fest and definitely go to the warehouse. I'm hoping to go to MDF next year. That's the goal because I would love to go.
Yeah, I
But
can. Yeah, I said I've said it many times. I'm like, I'm never going MDF again. Came back this year and I said it, but I said it multiple times. This is last year. It was
yeah.
well, it rained the whole time and it was cold, and people are like,
Did
oh,
you
well,
send us some warped freebies by the way from
yeah, I usually toss shit. If we have extras or free, if we have extras or damaged shit, or
Yeah.
I toss some people.
Because we
Plus,
saw we got a
because
couple
Cassie has a
warped
huge
ones.
fucking yeah, he has a huge order. Any of the huge
Yeah.
orders, I'll toss any extra shit that I need to get. That's what I toss an order. I call them the big boy orders. Big boys get
Yeah.
freebie shit. You know what I mean? If it's sitting there, I
Yeah.
gotta get. Yeah, they get on there.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I
Oh,
said, but yeah, that kind of rings a bell. But no, so speaking of that, and I might have to like because when it rained the whole time, like we get shit gets damaged. You're in a tent, you know what I mean? So some people like
yeah.
when I talk about on the channel, what a pussy. What is he, sugar? He's gonna melt. I was like, no, dickhead. I was like, I don't care about me getting wet. I care about our shit getting
About the
fucked
merch.
up. Yeah. I was
Mhm.
like, that sucks ass. I was like, yeah, no, if I was just there as a spectator, I was like, I just, granted, I prefer it to be nice out, but I'm just saying, yes, I could suck it up, Buttercup. I understand that
Yeah.
fully. But when I got fucking whatever, 80 grand of merch with us, or whatever the hell we brought, yeah, you're getting a little fucking pissed off.
Yeah. No, I don't want to get that shit wet. This is
Yeah. And then a lot of the,
valuable merchandise.
yeah, and then a lot of the interviews, because the microphones, because it being outside, because it's kind of loud, plus the wind and shit. But it's weird though
Mhm.
because like 3 years ago I did because it was just last year and this year back to back. A lot of the audio's kind of shit. I mean, it's not unusable, but kind of shit. You know, you got fucking the cans on. You would definitely think it's shit. It's a little annoying. You go there, you spend this money. I drive 6 hours. I miss 5 days in the warehouse, which fucks me in the ass. 2 weeks on fucking being behind here, so bad.
Yeah.
It's basically a major investment for me to go, and I come back.
Yeah.
Half these fuckheads don't show up for interviews. The fuckheads that do show up to the interviews, they show up during the bands I want to watch. Great, I didn't get to watch that band. I wish you would have showed up to the 30 bands in a row that sucked that I didn't want to watch. So thanks for fucking me on
Yeah.
that. And then when I do the goddamn interview, it sounds like fucking shit. And then it pours rain and I get damaged merch. Great. Had a fucking great time. Not.
Yeah.
Thanks,
You're
but
like,
no
was it
thanks.
worth it?
Right.
Yeah.
But
Oh
some
God.
does every time I say that, I look back because it is great. Like I said, that's what I'm telling you too, is for networking. Because even when I look back on this
Yeah.
past one, I'm in contact with other bands now, like God Throne and shit like that. Like I wouldn't have otherwise. So
Yeah.
part of me, like when the emotions settle down and you're buckled in and you're getting back on your feet, you're kind of like, well, guess we'll see. But there's a few years I'm like, I'm never coming to this shit again. Like I walk out of there, smoke on my ears, pissed off. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's been a while since I've gone to a festival. The last one I went to was ACL, and I was like probably 18, and that's like, you know, it was hotter than fuck in Texas. So, but that
Oh
was
yeah,
really
shit.
fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like 3 days of just being outside. So,
Well, what about has
um,
Cassidy ever been to a metal fest?
no, he
Metal
has
fest,
not.
okay.
I don't think he's ever been to a festival. So,
Well,
yeah,
outside metal fests, I haven't either. Those are the only fests I've been to were metal fests.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did know if I go to MDF, that would definitely be my first one too.
I mean, that is the
But
big boy
yeah,
for sure. There's no doubt. As far as in the U.S., as far as underground metal fest, that is the granddaddy. There's no question about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know.
So I just think it would be great, just for the experience to travel, but then also to get like a lot of really good merch and network too, of course. But I have a lot of my audience members that go. So, and Dying Fetus usually is there. So, you know,
Well, they
that could
won't be
be.
next year because they just played this past. That was one of the bands I did watch because I didn't watch many bands at all. Partly is because literally the interviews that showed up was like one of them showed up during God Throne. I'm like, Jesus
And you're
fuck.
like, thanks.
Yeah, kind of. But you're not going to tell them to go away because you set up an interview and I was like, I know this motherfucker ain't coming back. So I was like,
Yeah.
set it up. But Dying Fetus, they played an entire old school set, just old shit, like the albums that I grew up on. So that was really
Yeah.
cool. So I did watch that, and I really enjoyed that. So the fact that they just played this past one, they won't play next year. I mean, I doubt it back to back years.
Yeah. Oh, it sucked because it's like the last year we were in Oklahoma, nobody came through. I mean, we had a phenomenal year in like 2023 in Oklahoma. So many fucking bands came. 2024 came, not a single worthy act came into Oklahoma. And then it's like as soon as we move, Exhumed plays 89th Street again. And it's like, really? We even told Ross
Yeah,
that. And
because in
he's like, yeah.
Oklahoma, I don't know, but when I think of Oklahoma, I just think of a bunch of fucking wall-eyed, fucking slack-toothed fucks. Like, is there even any like real civilization there? Like, I don't like what
There
even.
is.
But I mean,
Yeah,
like,
so
is it just like
Oklahoma's great.
is it city?
Um,
Like, what is it most like?
so we lived in Stillwater, and we'll be moving back, but it is so Stillwater's in between Tulsa and OKC. Oklahoma has a very cool, very large underground metal scene. And yeah, 89th Street and the Diamond Ballroom are like the best venues in OKC. A lot of bands go there. I haven't spent a lot of time in OKC, but it's fun. It's hotter than fucking balls like 9 months out of the year. So, I mean, like right now it's probably like 90 degrees and like 85% humidity.
Yeah,
So
that's yeah.
it's like the bona fide South. You're in the Bible Belt. But it's fun. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of metalheads and it's a very small community too. So you'll see the same people at Tulsa shows as you would at like many of the different venues in OKC. So
So you being from there, your perspective has to be much different than a lot of people's, including mine, because a lot of people have busted my balls for like favorite bands being Deicide and stuff, and busting the balls in the sense of like, hey, you keep telling your boy about his lyrics and shit like that. They're like, dude, anti-Christian satanic lyrics have no effect on today's society like it did in the '90s. And my perspective is like, I agree. Compared to 30 years ago, it's not as it's kind of been there, and it's not as offensive. However, from your
yeah.
perspective, if that's what you kind of know as OKC, and you said it's a Bible Belt, someone like Deicide, you can correct me if I'm wrong, they would still find that very offensive, wouldn't they, if they saw their lyrics and shit like that?
Well, that's the thing is like, yes, Oklahoma is in the Bible Belt. It's a red state. It's like OKC is very progressive. There's a lot of equality and liberal, whatever. I don't care about politics at all, but it's like you have a lot of young people there and even in Stillwater. So it's like I feel like DSI would be fine to
Okay.
play there, honestly.
Well,
I
I'm not saying that'd
mean,
be fine, but I'm saying the Bible Belt people there, they would still be offended by
oh yeah.
DSI type lyrics, wouldn't they? They wouldn't care.
No, because those people, they're not the Bible Belt people. Okay, these are the moms. These are the soccer moms that get their nails done. They drive their pretty little white Cadillacs. Okay, and they smell like fucking every Kmart perfume shop. Okay,
Mm.
so it's like they're not doing it. Girl, they're in bed by 8 p.m. I mean, so am I, but they're not doing anything outside.
Yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
don't care. They don't know about it.
Oh,
So
sure.
it's
I knew they
like,
wouldn't know about it. No, I know,
yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, for example, the point I'm getting at is if you were wound, even back when I got in the metal scene, which I was kind of late, but still early
Mm-hmm.
compared to like you youngins, in the late '90s, if you walked around with the fucking deicide Once Upon the Cross, like with Jesus is disemboweled and
Out
shit,
in public.
you definitely would someone saying something. The
Oh,
argument of
I've
today,
walked around in Stillwater wearing like full blown like Cannibal Corpse like t-shirts and everything. Nobody says anything. So
that's what people are saying nowadays. Like, yeah, people don't say shit. But what I'm
yeah.
saying is, if you're in a very religious part of town, if you're wearing that Jesus is a cunt shirt, I was like, I'm pretty sure someone's still gonna care.
Yeah, they would definitely care.
Yeah, I was like, could be wrong, but I was like, I think they would. But yes,
Yeah,
as
they
far as
definitely
the amount of
would.
people that do, as opposed to back in 1998, I 100% agree. It's far less.
Yeah.
You know, back
Yeah.
if you wore that in 1998, you walked into fucking Walmart. There's a possibility you're getting in a fucking fist fight. Like I would almost bet
Yeah.
money you would. That someone might punch you in the fucking face.
Yeah. Well, it's like especially I mean in Stillwater it's like a college town, so it's like I don't know. There's not a lot of there are metalheads there, but there's mostly just like a bunch of cute little, college girlies wearing their booty shorts and whatnot. So I don't I don't get anybody that say anything about my shirts, but I do stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
you
I'm kind of
know.
surprised in that sense. Like even guys that they don't use that kind of as like because myself, if I was a single guy and if you didn't know what to say to a girl that you want to approach, let's just say they don't even know who incantation is. That's almost like you're given an automatic pickup. Like, hey, it's a pretty interesting shirt. That's cool. Like, what does that say? That gives you like the. I'm surprised more guys didn't do it. When I'm talking about even non-metal guys, that's their
Oh,
gate.
they've done it. Yeah, they've
Okay,
done it.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Done it. Even at like the dog park and stuff. And I'm like, I'm literally just here with my dog. I would like to just be with my dog. And they're like, wow, that's a cool shirt. What's on there? What is that? You know? And I'm like, go away. You don't know them anyway.
Or you can always do that if you feel like they're, which that's what they're doing. Is they're obviously trying to hit on you or pick up on you or talk to you. But what I would do as a
Yeah.
girl in a scenario like that, like, oh, it's a band that my husband's in. Just leave it at that. They'll probably,
Yeah.
okay. You know what I mean? Because you're telling them without telling them, like, hey, I'm taken. Just leave me alone.
I'm
Like
taken.
you're taking up,
Yeah.
you're telling them very politely, but because you asked, it's like, oh, it's
Even
my husband's band.
sometimes that doesn't work though. Like, I
Oh,
mean, I remember this
you're
one
gonna get the,
time.
yeah, you're gonna get the weirdo that doesn't care. He'll stick his dick in anything
Yeah.
when
Well,
he's up.
it's just like they don't read the signs, And I'm
Yeah,
like, girl, hello? Like,
yeah. But any guy with brains, like, because when I was single, I would have picked up on that. Like, I wouldn't have gone up to a
yeah.
girl who had a wedding ring on. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I would just know. Like, but yeah, you're gonna get the dum dums where they're just complete fucking idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anywho,
Some
I've
people are
taken
just
up enough of your time. I gotta fucking finish up a couple more hours of emails. Then I gotta go to an event and then hopefully shoot that live tonight. But is there anything that you wanted to go over, shout outs or announce or advertise? Well, you know the drill.
I know the drill. Yeah. Look out for my Black Sabbath deep dive that's coming out. By the time this is up, it's probably already out. But go watch my Black Sabbath deep dive, my incantation deep dive, and follow me on Twitch and
And
my YouTube
Instagram.
channel and Instagram.
And do you have any others? What about TikTok? You have that, you said?
I have TikTok and I have Facebook. It's all under Imakaiya. So I post a lot more like single album reviews on my TikTok and stuff like that. So if you're into that, you can follow me there as well.
Cool, cool, cool.
So yeah.
Perfect. Well, it's good talking to you. And like, yeah, you got my contact. So if you need anything, don't be a stranger.
All righty. It was good talking to you.
You too.
All
See ya.
right. Bye.
Bye.